Well, hello, baddies, babes, and gents. It's your girl, Wisdom's daughter. Happy Friday, everyone. We are going to get into some things on this evening. Sorry about getting a late start, but I got in from work very, very late and I was editing a video that I wanted to show you guys. As you guys come into the room, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button now because we are about to get into it. I don't want to delay because I don't want to hold you guys all night, but there's definitely some things that we're going to talk about on this evening. So hopefully everyone is getting into their weekend, and I'm gonna help you get your weekend started off right. So we definitely are gonna get into some shenanigans after dark. We got to talk about what's going on with one particular Diddy victim because I don't know if this is a ploy by Diddy, if this is a part of his new plan to try to get bail. But TMZ exposed a victim. It was actually, I believe, Diddy's latest victim. This particular victim probably has the worst Diddy story ever. And the latest news is that this victim allegedly, and we're going to get into it, we're going to separate fact from fiction, but she allegedly offered $3 million to an ex-boyfriend in exchange for his testimony regarding a video of her that he claims to have seen to help corroborate her story. And a lot of people are asking, well, if this really happened, why do you have to pay him $3 million? What's the money all about? There's another quote, which actually we're going to get into where the quote came from, but the quote appears in media as coming directly from the victim saying, I'm going after Diddy because he's the one with the money. So we're going to talk about all of that. This is one of the reasons why I believe the judges so far, and I have to say judges because I think Diddy is on judge number 2 now, and he's about to be on judge 3, 4, and 5, because now in order for him to request bail, it's gone to the appellate court, and apparently that's like a 3-judge panel about to be going on. And so Diddy may still have a chance to get bond, but so far, one of the main reasons why they did not want to give Diddy a bond is for what we're about to talk about on this evening: victim intimidation, obstruction of justice, because you'd be surprised what a person can do behind bars. And speaking of behind bars, let me share with you guys what Diddy's really stupid lawyer has said about his experience behind bars. And I'm saying to myself, well, if this is his experience behind bars and that's all that's going on, then the man doesn't need bail. Let me find this article. So it's called Diddy's Lawyer Reveals, quote unquote, toughest struggle of rapper in prison life. It's a very, very short article, but apparently what has happened is Diddy's lawyer was running his mouth at the court, and somebody overheard what he done said. Shout out to Snoopalicious, who's in the building. I see you. Us seniors need love too. And we got G-Ski in the building. Yes, I heard about Ali Carter. I may get into a little bit of that, but I'm thinking that's probably going to need a whole lot on its own. So if you guys have not heard about Ali Carter, the last TikTok that she uploaded was very heartbreaking. There are rumors that something happened to this young girl. This young girl has been calling Diddy out on social media for the better part of 3 years. She is the one that leaked information about these underground tunnels. And her last TikTok, she was overwhelmed. You could barely, understand what she was saying because she was speaking through her tears, and ultimately said that, she's getting very serious threats to the point where she just wants them to get it over with. She'd rather them just do whatever they're going to do rather than live in fear. And so we're going to get into that story. We'll try to get into some of it tonight. If not, we'll probably have to do a separate live maybe on tomorrow about that, because there's a lot going on there and I don't just want to like piecemeal it. So let me share with you why the diddler definitely needs a team. And do you guys know that he actually added a death penalty attorney to his team? Because Sir knows that he will be lucky if he gets 25 to life. He might find himself on death row. I'm just saying. If you guys are joining me from my main channel, I'm going to ask that you guys come over to Bad Girls Talk. The link is in the chat because I'm actually monitoring and moderating from Bad Girls Talk. So make sure you come on over here. I'm also happy to announce that this channel is now monetized. And so you can do super stickers, super chats, but you can also become a member. And on that note, I will go ahead and do it now. I will drop the membership information in this chat because I'm still waiting on the appeal for my other channel because your girl had an oops and YouTube flagged it and they were like, well, you gonna learn. and just to make sure you learn, we're going to demonetize you for a little while, but that's okay. Onwards and upwards. But anyway, let me go ahead and put this in the chat so you guys have access to the membership information. Want to make sure that you guys have that so you can join on this channel over here. All right, so getting to this lawyer. First of all, this is the same lawyer who has gone on record saying that Diddy is innocent, gone on record on behalf of Diddy stating that the victims are just chasing clout, that there is no truth or substance to their claims. Okay, even after the Cassie video came out. This is the same dumbass lawyer, excuse my French, who stated that, Diddy probably had all that baby oil in his house because he has multiple residences and he shops in bulk. Okay. And he mentioned going to Costco. There's a Costco nearby. Costco was like, no, you don't. We don't even sell baby oil. Thank you very much. We don't sell baby oil in bulk. You ain't going to blame it on Costco. You can blame it on alcohol, but you ain't going to blame it on Costco. So here's what the lawyer said. He basically said that this is what he's talking about. The toughest challenge that Diddy is experiencing right now in prison. Okay, according to People, I guess it's People magazine, on October 10th, the status of the disgraced musician Sean Diddy Combs has been updated by one of his legal representatives. We already know that he's currently at the Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center. His dumbass lawyer, Mark Agnifilio, shared that his biggest challenge is the food. Are you kidding me? He says, well, I think the food's probably the roughest part of it. And this was a comment made outside the federal courthouse in Manhattan and somebody overheard it. So basically, I've talked about this before. Diddy's day starts at about between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. Now, they can do, they will come in and overturn those cells and do checks and lockdowns at any time of the day. But ultimately, by 6 a.m., he starts with cereal, fruit, and a breakfast cake. On the weekends, they add scrambled eggs and biscuits during lunch. The lineup focuses on main course food choices such as hamburgers, baked fish, and beef tacos. After the 4 p.m. head count, dinner is provided, and that menu consists of chicken fajitas, pasta, and roast beef. To encourage a diet worth calling heart healthy, dinner also includes tofu, lentils, and baked beans to its vegetable-focused dishes. Okay? I don't think that that's good press for Diddy because it sounds like Diddy's on a damn vacation. So if his biggest worry is the food, then guess what? He could stay there. All right. Y'all, holla if you hear me. Talk to me in the chat if you agree that Diddy can stay right where he is if the biggest issue he's having is food. I don't know if this is a new tactic to try to downplay what's going on at the detention center, but I don't believe that this is helping Diddy like at all. I really, 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 really don't. I'm going to switch gears for a second because I want us to take a look at the young lady that we're going to talk about in just a moment. I want to remind you guys of her complaint because not only was her complaint like the most detailed, but it was like the most horrendous. No weapon formed against me is in the building, says hello, Wisdom's daughter in chat. Awesome. So guys, again, make sure you hit the like button on the way in. All right. Double check for me. Go on out, check, make sure you hit the like button and come back into the chat. Want to make sure we take care of that business. And some of you are like, okay, well, we'll see if I like the video when it's done. Not a problem. But that is a free way to support the chat. If you do want to become a member, the link has been pinned to the chat. All right, so the membership link is there. All right. So anyway, so let's talk about this young lady. I want to bring up her complaint first because this particular young lady, Thalia Graves, this is the one who she looks like she's Hispanic. She was, talking through tears and wiping her eyes the entire time, giving her testimony about what was done to her. And I read the complaint, and honestly, it reads like something out of a Hollywood movie. When I tell you that this was the worst complaint that I had seen in terms of what happened to this young lady, it was really, really, really bad. You can't even make this up. Tiger Lily is in the building. Tiger Lily was actually on the live with me last night with Kempire. Wasn't that a good live? It was awesome. I have been waiting to catch a Kempire live. I love me some Kempire, and he's doing some kitchen talks or talks from the kitchen. I don't know, but it was a lot of fun. I just had to get up early. So anyway, so we're going to get into this complaint, and then we're going to talk about this whole deal with what TMZ did, because, and I'm going to tell you, Make It Make Sense talked about this about 2 nights ago. He had receipts with text messages and things like that. Chronicle Speaks talked about it earlier today, and she had even more receipts, text messages, and so forth. And this is why it's really, really difficult with situations like this, because some people do not do their homework or their due diligence, and some people just don't read. No Weapon Formed Against Me said, is she the one with Gloria Allred? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is the one with Gloria, and I'm not even sure what you mean, because the name Gloria Allred doesn't ring a bell to me. But you'll probably be able to confirm with me, yay or nay, in just a little bit. So yeah, Kempire is all that. So let's get into her complaint, and then we're going to talk about what happened with this victim, because it's all in the media now, and they're making it seem like this lady lied. They're making it seem like what Diddy's lawyer has said and what Diddy has said, that and what Diddy's mama have said. That might be her attorney. I thought her, we'll look at it. It should be on the documents who her attorney is. Gloria Allred is a bigwig attorney out of California. Yeah, I believe that is her attorney. Yep, seniors need love to confirm it. Yeah, that's the one. All right. So we're going to talk about what we're going to go through her complaint, because I want to put it in context. I need to remind you guys what this young lady is alleging to have gone through. And I'm going to be honest with you. I believe her. Okay. If she's not being honest, then she's a hell of an actress. Okay. I've been acting since I was 8 years old. And typically when someone's acting, takes one to know one, right? So we're going to get into that. And then we're going to get into what is going around in the media, because media has totally spread misinformation, and you have people that'll read the headlines. And even 50 Cent, Lord have mercy, 50 Cent called this woman a bitch. Okay, can you believe it? Didn't do his homework, didn't look into it, immediately called this woman out her name and was like, yeah, I knew she was lying type thing. And this is why victims don't come forward, and this is not good for the case. All right. The other thing that we're going to look at later on, we're not going to be on here too long. I've been editing for the last couple of hours, but I have the Jaguar Wright interview. I watched Piers Morgan. I was trying to figure out why this man was apologizing to JayZ and Beyonce, and why he was sweating to death when Jaguar Wright was talking. But they have since taken that segment out, and I have not gone back to check, but I believe either they took out the part where she talked about Beyonce or JayZ, or they may have taken out the entire thing. But you guys are going to get a treat tonight, because you can't watch it pretty much anymore unless someone captured it. I was watching it, so I have it. Tiger Lily says she's exhausting. She can be, and there are a lot of people trying to discredit her as well. When she was just on YouTube, nobody really had anything to say about what she was talking about. But now that she's made it onto mainstream media, she's being discredited. Some of what she has said does not track, but a lot of what she said has been verified by other people. But when you listen to her, it sounds like she's putting on a performance. It's a little bit comical. It's a little bit comical. But we're going to take a look at it. Like I said, I did edit it down. We're not looking at the whole Pierce Morgan. Her segment was like 10 to 12 minutes. All right. So we're going to take a look at that. Yeah, 50 Cent doesn't care for Diddy. Diddy stole a documentary to Netflix. Yeah, that documentary is going to be coming out soon. And I'm here for it. Okay. I'm definitely here for it. As a matter of fact, I'm about to put up a poll because I want to know how many of you want to or are planning to watch the documentary. However, if you don't want to wait, not if you don't want to, but if you can't wait for 50 Cent's Netflix documentary that's going to come out, which I believe that is going to be really good. But there is a documentary right now on Hulu called The Secret Life of Diddy. And it is very good. It's really people in the industry who've kind of been there, kind of talking through and kind of analyzing the situation from beginning to end. It's not a bias. Some of these documentaries can be very biased. It was surprisingly good. It's only about an hour, I think, but it's quite good. And spoiler alert, the consensus is they don't believe that Diddy is getting out. Try as he may, try as he might. This is something that his money is not going to be able to buy for him. They don't feel that he's going to be able to get out because they feel that he's a flight risk. And that there's also a risk of him doing what he's already started to do, is to contact people and call people and try to get them to stay quiet. All right. So on that note, let's get into this court document. Some of you may have seen this before, but it's been a while, or you may have seen excerpts of it in different media. And sometimes these things can be taken out of context. So look at, okay, so this is her her complaint, okay, against Sean Combs, Joseph Sherman, also known as Big Joe. All right, he's going to come into context later because there's a video that I'm going to show you guys later that talks about this dude. Now, this guy, Big Joe, is claiming that he doesn't know this woman. All right, he's claiming that he's never met her before in his life. And he better hope that they don't already have a video or her video with this particular victim, because he's claiming on camera he don't know the lady. He ain't never seen her before. Okay, that's what he said. Daddy's House Recordings Incorporated. And if I sound funny, y'all, I had some dental work done, and they have just gotten started. They listen. I got a lot of work that I need to get done, and yeah, so I'm kind of struggling over here a little bit because I'm like in between dental work, and so my bite is off and everything else like that. So and yeah, it's not cosmetic dentistry. I'm not gonna come back looking like I put chiclets in my mouth. It's not that. It's I have to get a root canal, unfortunately. But anyway, so Combs Global, okay. Combs Enterprises LLC, Bad Boy Entertainment Holdings, Bad Boy Productions Holdings, Bad Boy Books Holdings, Bad Boy Records LLC, Bad Boy Entertainment LLC, Bad Boy Productions LLC, and Organizational Does 110, whatever that is. Now, here's a question for you. Why did Diddy name this record label Bad Boy? Is it because he's a bad boy? I'm just saying, right? I'm not judging him, because I have a channel called Bad Girls Talk, but that's like, Michael Jackson, who's bad. That's not like, I think the name for Diddy's company is telling. I'm going to get into this a little bit more later because of Allie Carter, because one of the things Allie Carter said is that, I believe it was her that said it. She said, listen to the lyrics. They tell on themselves in the lyrics. And one thing I know is that people who do evil things, who have even a little bit of a conscience, will low-key tell on themselves one way or another. And what Allie Carter says is that for musicians, music is like their diary. So a couple of days ago, a week ago, we kind of analyzed some of Rihanna's lyrics, and we could kind of see in the lyrics where there were some issues and problems. So interesting. Bad boy. And he's living up to his name. All right. So she's saying that in or around the summer of 2001, Sean Combs and Joseph Sherman viciously argued her at the Bad Boy Records studio in New York City. This is important because after we read through this, and I'm going to skim through it, we're going to look at what TMZ said, and then we're going to go to Chronicle Speaks video that she dropped earlier today, because she has additional text messages, and it doesn't matter who got it first, whether it was her or Make It Make Sense. It doesn't matter. They have the receipts. They have the actual text messages that confirms what this young lady is saying. And I want to share this with you because we do have at least one content creator out there that likes to use situations like this to take somebody who really is a threat, a predator, and want to try to make a claim that they're innocent, right? I would not be surprised if we see a free Diddy, campaign coming out of a certain content creator, okay, that he's innocent and all the victims are lying type of situation. All right, so let's get into it. She was 25 years old when she began dating one of Diddy's employees, a relationship that Diddy exploited to lure her into meeting her and Joe, aka Sherman, alone. Okay. So what happened is they come to her house, they pick her up, and they're bringing her back to Diddy's office or the studio. Okay. And this particular place where they bring her to is a place where allegedly he has done things to women before in this same place. Okay. They give her a drink. It was most likely laced with something because it caused her to go in and out of consciousness. And she only had a couple of sips and she couldn't even walk to get out of the vehicle. So when she awoke, she found herself bound. She describes whatever her hands were tied up with felt like a grocery plastic bag. I'm not trying to be saying anything prejudiced, but Black people in plastic bags. All right. I'm willing to bet that everybody on this live that's brown in any shade of brown probably got a closet somewhere with a bag with a bunch of grocery bags in it, because that's just something that we often do. At least I know I do, right? I use it for everything. I line the inside of my little garbage pail in my bathroom. I use it to, pick up my dog's poop and whatnot. I'm just saying. All right. So it says that Combs and Sherman brutally essayed her, okay, from the front and the back. Sherman forcefully slammed her onto what was later determined to be a pool table. He slapped her and he forced himself into her mouth, okay? So, she cried out for help and they just, acted like this was normal and totally ignored her. Okay. They said that she never recovered from it. She had, suicidal ideation. She was going through physical therapy, and it was a lot. It was a lot on her. Now she goes into a little more detail on what happened. But ultimately, what she's saying is that because Bad Boy has all these companies. I even heard a rumor that he's an investor in Twitter or X, formerly known as Twitter. All right. And because of that, they've been able to use their status to harass her and to intimidate her. Even her boyfriend told her, like, don't say anything initially. Don't say anything about this because, this is going to mess up what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to come up. I have an opportunity at Bad Boy to be somebody. And if you go public with this or say anything, this is going to possibly mess up my career. Some boyfriend he is, and this is her ex. So, I'm glad that she woke up and realized that that was not going to be a good relationship. So, let me just see. So she says that she believes that the studio was located on the premises of Diddy's house. This is what she's saying. Combs and Sherman used the Daddy's house premises and their ownership and titles at Daddy's house to commit the unlawful sexual violence against the plaintiff that she goes on to describe. So some of this is too horrendous to read it exactly the way it's written here. So I'm just going to paraphrase, so to speak. So let me get to her complaint. And while I'm looking for what I'm looking for, she was 25 at the time. She's 4'11", and she was only 105 pounds at the time. So they're saying that Big Joe, Mr. Sherman over here, is like 6'4" and 450 pounds, something like that. This is a big dude. So there was no way that, she was going to be able to do anything. So it says that each of Combs's corporations aided and abetted Combs and Sherman in committing the unlawful act of violence against the plaintiff, described her in harassing and subsequently intimidating her into silence after what happened, provided Combs and Sherman with the studio and office space where they committed the crime, and or with chattel, including recording equipment, storage equipment, etc., to record and disseminate it. And this is the issue. What happened to her was bad enough. The problem is that they recorded it. And not only did they record it, but they showed it to other people. And it's alleged her ex-boyfriend comes to her later and says, listen, I need to tell you something. Remember, that thing you said happened to you? Well, I done seen it on video. Diddy and them were showing it on video and everybody saw it. And on top of that, they were poking fun at him and trying to shame him into silence, talking crap about, oh, that's your girl. I don't even know why you was with her and all that other kind of stuff, because that's what they do allegedly, right? And so he brought it to her attention. This guy, Sherman, also has an adult film company. And so it's alleged that this is what he would do. He would do things to women and film it, and then he would basically sell it through his adult film company. So P. Diddy has too many names. Puff Daddy, Puffy, P. Diddy, Diddy, Brother Love, Love. It's just too much. Even he gets confused. All right, let me get down to, okay. So here's where she goes into a little bit more detail. So Diddy comes to her and says, listen, I got to talk to you about your man. He wants to meet with her in person to discuss what he's calling her boyfriend's performance issues. Now, to me, this is a red flag, okay? This is a major red flag. Shout out to I Am Mrs. BB. I Am Mrs. BB has got to be our first member over here on Bad Girls Talk. Thank you so much, I Am Mrs. BB, for becoming a member queen. I appreciate you, and may your gift return back to you tenfold. I appreciate that. Mrs. BB is following me on across all of my channels, and so you guys want to be like Mrs. BB when you grow up, then you want to follow me on all your channels. Hold on just one second. Let me make sure I have this information up for you guys to make sure that you are able to subscribe to all of my channels. All right. Anyway, so let's get back into it. So this is ultimately what happens. Now, as I said, to me, this is a red flag. Why are you coming to me to talk to me about my man? And you want to talk to me alone about my man? Shout out to Leo Lady 251. I see you, Kenneth 14. I've got Silver and Gold. I got everybody in the building. Kristen Vasquez has an awesome question. She says, I wonder if Big Joe is actually Fat Joe. It's not. I'm going to see if I can get a picture for you, but no, it's not. It's definitely not. This guy is He's dark skinned. Definitely is not Fat Joe. Now, I'm pretty sure that Fat Joe was around because I'm pretty sure that I've seen him at some of these parties in these pictures. Okay, not at the party that I went to. So, yeah, and thank God we didn't get the kind of access like to the house because listen, I was 16. I could have easily ended up like one of these girls. Could have easily ended up like one of these girls. You know how many people when I was a teenager or just I guess a young adult, um, you know, try to get me to come to their studio by myself, talking about they want to give me a record deal. So it can happen. Anyway, so this is what happened. So he says he wants to meet her in person to discuss her boyfriend's performance issues. Her boyfriend was determined to climb up the ladder at the record label at Bad Boy. And so as his partner, she thought, she was helping him out. So she agreed to meet with Diddy. Apparently, she didn't know what really goes down and she didn't think anything of it. She trusted Diddy like a lot of these victims. And she's saying, now in retrospect, it was very sick and twisted for him to use his title at Bad Boy and his affiliate entities to abuse the victim to show his power and his ability to humiliate her boyfriend, the executive. Now, he later does the same thing to Cassie and her boyfriend later on, but we'll get into that. So a few hours later, Diddy arrives at her mother's house in Queens. She grew up in Regal Park, all right? Those of you who are from New York, Regal Park, Queens, I know where that's at. Anyway, because when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute, do I know her by any chance? But anyway, so he shows up with Sherman, Joe, Big Joe, who was Diddy's bodyguard at the time. He was the driver. Combs was in the back seat. After she got into the vehicle, Diddy offered her a glass of wine. That's not unusual. So Diddy starts discussing with her the concerns that he has about her boyfriend's performance. I don't know what he expected her to do about it, but this is the conversation. So she drank whatever he gave her and she started feeling lightheaded, dizzy, and she started to get weak physically. She knows now that she was drugged because she said she's never had a few sips of wine affect her like that. And so they drove her from Queens to Manhattan to the Bad Boy studio. Now, when they arrived, she couldn't even get out of the car. She realized she was feeling weird. She found it difficult to walk. But at this time, she didn't realize it was the drink. So she's trying to play it off like, I'm cool. They let her in, and they eventually bring her to a couch in a private room. Now, she learned later that this was his personal lounge and office at the Bad Boy studio. So she wasn't actually in the recording studio itself. She was, So Diddy sits down next to her and they're still talking and she's starting to feel woozy. And then all of a sudden she loses consciousness. She wakes up naked. Her hands are tied behind her back with what feels like a plastic grocery bag. All right. And then she starts screaming for help. Big Joe picks her up off the couch and throws her face down onto the pool table. After that, here comes Diddy in his birthday suit. Okay. Now he reaches for a container of lubricant that smelled like menthol. This is what he reached out for. Now, I actually did some Googling and schmoogling because I wanted to figure out what lubricant comes in a container that has menthol in it. And hold on a second. I'll bring it up on the screen later, but I think I still have it in my phone. Because I was looking at it earlier today. Yes, I got it. I'll email it to myself so I can show it to you. So I found something called Cool Formula Elbow Grease. Let me just email it to myself so I can show you. This is nasty. It's called Cool Formula Elbow Grease. Like the menthol inside of it is supposed to make the experience any better. So apparently Diddy reaches for the container, grabs a handful, puts it on himself down there. And, the victim is bent over this pool table with her feet dangling. Now she's only 4'11", so her feet can't touch the floor. Okay. He holds her down and he goes through the back door. All right. Again, she's only 4'11". She weighs 103 pounds. So there's nothing that she can do. In addition, he's stronger than her. Her hands are tied behind her back, and he drugged her. All right, according to her complaint. So naturally, she's screaming out in pain, and Diddy does not stop. He continues to bang through the back door. All right. And we're all adults here. If you've ever, tried that with a significant other, that's not the way to do it. Okay. That is like labor pain kind of pain. It's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not what you do to somebody. And so he smashes her head down onto the pool table while she's trying to get out from under him. Now, she says that while that's going on, she threw up in her mouth. She threw up on the table. At one point, she defecated on herself, and Diddy, it was like, another day in the park. Okay. He cleans himself off. He applies more lubricant and then continues to go in the front door. And so she talks about the intense pain. She was having burning sensations from the front door and the back door. All right. Because he obviously thought using menthol would help. I mean, like they treated her like a rag doll, like nothing, like an ex-slave, like some of these people have been talking about. This is what you've seen in movies, but this is not a Hollywood movie. This is her real life. So she's screaming for help, and Diddy just continues doing what he's doing over and over and over again. And so she loses consciousness. The next time she wakes up, she's on the couch. Big Sherman is standing in front of her with his ding dong in her face, and he slaps her and then forcefully puts his ding dong in her mouth repeatedly, like over and over and over again. And then she loses consciousness again. When she wakes up, she's on the couch. She has no clothes on. She's alone. All right. As you can imagine, she's in a lot of pain. Everything hurts. Her face hurts. Her wrists hurt. Her womanhood is hurting. All right. She says that, she smelled like menthol, very strongly of menthol, because I guess that was Diddy's solution, as if that was supposed to make it any better. She also felt a liquid dripping from her body, and she's assuming that it was, swimmers. Okay. It was Diddy juice. She's assuming that it was Diddy juice, somebody's juice. Anyway, so all they did was throw her dress over her and discard her like a piece of trash. And so she grabbed her purse. She found her bra. She couldn't find her underwear. And I'm going to stop here for just 1 second. I found it interesting that they couldn't find her underwear, because oftentimes sociopaths and psychopaths will take a trophy. Okay. So I would not be surprised if Diddy collected her undergarments and held on to them so that he can replay the scene over and over in his mind later. R. Kelly was known for doing the same thing, recording things so he could rewatch later and do whatever he does while he watched it. So now she gets out of there. She finds a livery driver. All right. For those of you who are not from the big city and you're like, what's a livery driver? It's an unmarked cab. Okay. It looks like a regular vehicle, but typically you'll kind of know them because they usually drive a certain type of vehicle, but she hailed a cab. It's not a yellow cab. It's just a regular unmarked taxi. Anyway, and the person that we call it car service. So I had a car service company that I knew that I would call when I needed to be picked up. So although I may not know the driver, I knew what company. So she called a particular driver that the family knew. He picked her up from outside the Bad Boy studio. Again, pay attention, because all this is important, because she wanted her boyfriend to not corroborate, but to share what he saw on the video to, corroborate her story. But this driver picked her up at the Bad Boy studio. He can corroborate that. He can corroborate what she looked like, right? He drove her to the hospital. And he tried to get her to report what was happening, and you need to get an R kit. But she was in such a state, she couldn't even get out the car. The very real reality of going into the hospital and having to report what happened to you and who did it Because a lot of people are saying, well, girl, bye. You was at the hospital and you didn't get out the car. Y'all do not understand. Diddy is alleged to have deleted some people. Okay. And she could be one of them. She was terrified. This was not like some dude. This is a very, very powerful man. And to go to the hospital and do an R kit means that you have to disclose what happened and who did it. And so she just couldn't do it. She couldn't get out of the car. She said, I was terrified of what Combs would do to me and my family if I reported him. Okay. And if you've ever had something like this happen to you, this is not one of those things where, somebody unalived your dog and I'm going to go tell. This is very, 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 very difficult to talk about and to report, especially knowing that this person knows where you live, right? He could have gone after her ex-boyfriend, it's a lot. It's a lot. And so she talks about all the injuries that she sustained and whatnot. She had prolonged bleeding, anal bleeding, and hemorrhoids naturally for days after the event. So this wasn't one of those things where you go home and you could just tell yourself it didn't happen. She's having to physically recover, okay? And there was no IV drip for her. Just saying. I'm not sure why. And maybe she did reach out to the driver. Who knows? It's just we only know about what we know about because TMZ got a hold of the text messages and they leaked them. But they didn't leak all of it. And they leaked it out of context. The other thing is that if you're still wondering why she didn't report it, not just Diddy's power, not just his notoriety. I was going to say popularity. That's not even the right word. His notoriety. But she was in the middle of a divorce and a custody battle at the time. She had a boyfriend, but she was still legally married. Now, they might have been legally separated because typically you have to be separated for a year in order to get a divorce if it's irreconcilable differences. All right. But she was still legally married. She was going through a divorce, a contentious divorce, right? And a custody battle. And she was afraid that if she reported it, Diddy would do something to cause her to lose custody of her child. Can you understand now why this woman chose not to get out of that cab? No, just take me home. Just take me home, right? And the crazy thing is she told her boyfriend, thinking that he was going to comfort and support her, but instead he tells her not to say anything because it can negatively impact his career. F your career. How about that? I don't care about your career. Do you care about me? She was even afraid to stay in New York City, and so she got friends to help her move to Pennsylvania. And it says she fled to Pennsylvania. So it sounds like she left her stuff and everything. It was just like, all right, I gotta go somewhere else. So this is what this young lady went through. And she says that she can't even be intimate with anybody. And certain, positions causes her to have flashbacks about what Diddy did, busting open her back door. Okay. He literally kicked in her back door. Okay. And that's not, Anyway, so this is what happened to this young lady. Okay. This is the same young lady that TMZ and a lot of other media outlets are going in on now, trying to say that, this was a setup and this was, her trying to just get some money and whatnot. It does hurt to hear. Absolutely. Shout out to Pecan Tan. How are you doing, Queen? You are always in my heart. And so I hope you're taking it easy and, and allowing your body to heal. But it's so easy to say that, no, she's lying, but that's a lot to make up. You understand what I'm saying? That's very deep. And I didn't even read it. Y'all could see it on the screen. I didn't even read all of what's there because it's too much to even have it come out of my mouth. I'm trying to paraphrase, but to give you, but not take away from the severity of the violence that this woman went through. All right. Some of y'all have your own stories. But no other complaint is as horrific in detail as this one is. And I think they took advantage of this particular victim primarily because she is small. That's why. I truly believe that they took advantage of her primarily because it was easy for them to overpower her. So if you got, wow, that's huge. I didn't mean for that to be so big. If you guys are watching on Wisdom's Daughter, come on over to Bad Girls Talk because that's where I'm going to be engaging with the chat. All right, so come on over here. If you guys are on my main channel, come on over to Bad Girls Talk because your girl is monetized now. Yay! So we can do the super chats, the super stickers. You can do memberships, all that. All right. And I'm working on building out the. I just got approved, so it's going to take me some time to build out the membership repertoire, I should say. But anyway, so just to put that into context. So now that we've read that, here is what TMZ has put out there, and I like TMZ, but I'm a little disgusted by their lack of research, by their lack of sensitivity. You understand? How do you read a complaint like this? And they were the one of the first ones, not the first, but one of the first ones to drop the story when she came out. So I know that they read the complaint. So how do you read that and then instantly read some text messages, and because you see $3 million, because you see, oh, Diddy's got the money, you just automatically jump to conclusions that, you know, she's lying about it? Well, guess what? TMZ is going to owe this woman an apology if there is a tape out there, for sure. But anyway, let me see if I can find the original TMZ. I'm looking for the TMZ article. Let me see. Thalia Graves. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, here, let me share this in the meantime. So it says, this is from Hollywood Unlocked. So y'all know Jason. This is from Jason. All right. So those of you who wanted to know what Big Joe looks like, that's him on the left. So it's definitely not Fat Joe. But I can understand with the names how you know you can think that. So Diddy's former bodyguard, Joseph Big Joe Sherman. Okay, so now we know his last name because Thalia couldn't remember his last name at one point. She thought his last name was Hall. Anyway, insists he's innocent in an emotional interview. Calls our accuser, Thalia Graves' lawsuit, a money grab. Well, I guess he got his I guess he took notes from Diddy because Diddy said the same thing. Y'all gonna have to come up with a better argument than I didn't do it. This is just about money. Y'all gonna have to do better than that. Diddy's former bodyguard, Joseph Sherman, aka Big Joe, insists he's innocent in an emotional interview during which he calls our accuser Thalia Graves' lawsuit a money grab. As we previously shared on September 24th, Diddy was hit with another essay lawsuit filed by Thalia Graves. In her complaint, she alleged that Diddy and his former head of security, Joseph Sherman, violently arred her. She stated that the traumatic event ultimately led to thoughts of unaliving herself for the last 23 years. She alleged in 2021, when she was just 25 years old, again, we read the story, she was dating one of Diddy's employees, and Diddy manipulated her into going to his studio where he and his bodyguard did what they did to her. And many of you saw the conference, the press conference, where she could barely speak. She could literally barely speak. All right. And so I'm not going to read through a lot of this because it's just repeating what we've already read, and it was hard enough to talk about the first time. So in the press conference held by Graves and her attorney Gloria Allred, so yes, someone asked the question about that earlier, and now I'm confirming it that it is that Gloria Allred is her attorney. The woman publicly and emotionally addressed her accusers and the nation. During that time, she broke down in tears, stating that the trauma of the assault has taken a toll on her mental health. She's had PTSD, depression, anxiety. Okay. The fact that this woman is still alive, meaning that she did not take her own life, it just shows her strength, because I can only imagine the nightmares. Every time this woman closes her eyes, every time she sees, a dark skinned man that's about the same size and same height as Diddy, even though it may not be that person, your mind will tell you that's what, I can only imagine. She continued stating that she's emotionally scarred and it's been hard for her to trust others and form relationships. That's another thing, right? You lose trust. You don't trust anybody anymore. How can you be in a relationship? Because she trusted Diddy. Now, since she filed her lawsuit, the former bodyguard, Joseph Sherman, is now speaking out to emotionally proclaim. So he done practice to proclaim his innocence and call Graves out alleged money grab. When was this dated? Okay, so this was 7 days ago. The TMZ thing just broke. So I don't know if this is a part of Diddy's plan to try to discredit victims, to say, see, because what they're going to say is if there's even one victim who is found to be untruthful or trying to use this for extortion or anything else, then they're going to try to use that to say, well, if there's one, then there's got to be more. And see, that's not fair. I shouldn't even be in jail. He's trying to do anything he can. One may not have anything to do with the other, but he's trying to do anything he can to get out of jail. So this is what he said. He interviewed with NBC's News 4 New York. He told reporter Sarah Wallace that he did security for Bad Boy Records in the 90s, but he wasn't working for the company in 2001. Well, he better hope that that's not a lie, because they have all of Diddy's records. If you guys haven't heard, they found several terabytes of data. A terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes. Okay, so let me put that into perspective for you, because I was telling someone the other day that I have way too many pictures on my phone and I need to try to clear up some space. So right now, I have 530 videos and 11,500 images on my phone. Now let's take a look and see how much space is being taken up on my phone with 11,500 pictures and 530 videos. All right. Don't y'all judge me. A lot of the videos and things that are on here is stuff that I'm gathering for YouTube. So all right, so let's go to settings and see if we can take a look at the available space on my phone. I'm going to try to find it quickly, and if I can't find it quickly, I will we'll move on and I'll get it for you. I'll look for it while I'm doing multiple things. See, this is why people have a team, because sometimes you need people to look up stuff for you while you're doing other things. So kudos to Tasha K. Say what you want, but she's got a really great setup. Trying to see where I would find this information about the space on my phone. All right, let's see, storage and memory. Here we go. Okay. So the 529 videos, and some of them are long, and the 11,500 photos on my phone is taking up 124 gigabytes. Okay. I just told you that a terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes. So y'all do the math and y'all put that into perspective. Okay. It's a lot. And they found several terabytes. It's a lot of data. So this man is saying that he didn't even work for Diddy. Well, he better hope he really wasn't on Diddy's payroll. Okay. She's saying that he was working as a bodyguard. And maybe he wasn't working as a bodyguard that night. Okay. But he was driving the vehicle according to her. Anyway, he says, I wasn't working for the company in 2001. It's a lie on me. I don't know this lady from anywhere. I'm not questioning her integrity. I'm just questioning her claims against me. You got the wrong man. I wasn't even in the same room with you. I have never seen you. I wasn't even in New York that time. I recall at that time. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Once again, this is why a lot of these people get themselves in trouble because they start, hey, Galatians, because they start running their mouths. He's saying he wasn't, not only did he not work for Diddy at that time, but he's saying that he wasn't even in New York. So all they have to do is get his bank records. All they have to do is get his bank records and his phone records, and they can find out if he really was in New York on that day. So you see, this is how stupid criminals get caught. So, you know, and let me see. I had it on video. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. R. Kelly tried to claim the same thing and didn't work. Okay. He went on, what was it, with 2020? He sat in front of, it was a Gayle King. All right. Crying and whining about, you know, they're trying to take my life. Okay. I think we all remember the infamous video. And so this is what, hold on, TMZ. Let me see if I can find it. TMZ exposes Diddy victim. It's a particular article that I'm looking for. I thought I had it, but all right. So here it is here. Let me bring this up. Like I said, TMZ is usually on point, but this is why you have to be careful with some of these big name media outlets, because we just assume that they get it right all the time and they don't. All right. So here's the title. Diddy's Our Accuser's ex claims she offered bribe, $3 million if you back my story. And we're going to see and hear from Chronicle Speaks with the receipts that that's not really what happened. And what we're going to hear in the text messages is that it sounds like your girl was telling the truth. Okay. So Diddy's latest accuser, suing him for allegedly R-ing her and recording it, tried to get now ex-boyfriend to corroborate her claim by paying him 7 figures, according to the ex, TMZ has learned. And honestly, she could sue TMZ. So Thalia, if you watching this right here, baby, you need to go after TMZ too. Okay. For defamation. Anyway, Thalia Graves is suing Diddy and his head of security, Joseph Sherman, for allegedly R-ing her back in 2001. This is what the suit says. We just talked about this. Okay. Look at this craziness. Why is this so big? Oh, no wonder it's on 150. I usually don't do this, but let's just, because it's here. I'm just going to do it because it's here. Some of the pictures. It says inside the white parties. Now what are they doing? Oh, that's a deck of cards. Okay. Oh, okay. Doesn't he look familiar? Is that Pat Sajak? Not Pat Sajak. Do I have the right actor? Is that Pat Sajak right here in the middle? Because it looks like him. If not, then I've got his face in my head, but I can't call the right name. But anyway, now I saw this in one of the YouTube videos on Diddy, and I started looking at all these young boys serving. Okay. If that don't tell you something right there, what grown straight man has a bunch of young boys serving wine? Now, I don't know if these are S workers just dressed up to look all pretty. Baby. Okay, so he has a few ladies too, because you know he has to be like Hugh Hefner. So Hugh Hefner had the Playboy bunnies and he got the white party angels. Okay, Charlie's Angels. You know what's interesting? While I go back to this article, Nesto and Diddy got the same problem. They both are trying to bond out and can't get out of jail. But they also have a habit of promising people that they're going to build their career and don't. Okay. As was the case with Cassie. As was the case with Cassie. If you guys are not aware of what happened with Cassie Ventura, that for 10 years, he basically held her record deal over her head, claiming that, you know, if she leaves him, he'll make sure that she never gets a record deal anywhere else. And, you know, only he can make her famous and nobody else is going to give her a shot. Cassie Ventura had a performance, a live performance early on when he first discovered her. And it was horrible. She sounded horrible. She looked horrible. All right. She's beautiful, but she can't sing. She can't really sing. I don't think we had auto tunes back then, but the performance was horrible to the point where Diddy actually went on live TV and said, you know, it was bad. It was horrible. It was really, really bad. And in my opinion, I think that was the point when Diddy realized what Cassie's purpose was going to be. He realized that he could not make her a star. She was not a Rihanna. She didn't have enough potential like Beyonce at the time. Okay, she was not an Aaliyah. I didn't even know at the time that there was not a beef, but there was a competition between Beyonce, who was trying to go solo, and Aaliyah at the time. But she was not a Rihanna. She was not an Aaliyah. She was beautiful like those young ladies, but not talented enough. See, if Cassie had real talent, that album would have come out. It would have been like a biggie. It would have been like they would have made sure that album came out. But instead, he decided, you know what? She's good arm candy. She can wear anything. She looks like a model. I'm going to make her my woman, and she's going to do whatever I tell her to do. Okay? And so Cassie stayed for a lot of reasons, out of fear, but also she really wanted to launch her career. And in the beginning, she really thought that she had a chance. And that is why people are saying that deal, that album was never coming out. It was never going to come out because he knew that he could not make her profitable. And that's a sad situation. Anyway, it says TMZ has seen a November 2023 text exchange between Thalia and the man who was her boyfriend, and in it reveals she's planning to sue Diddy because, quote unquote, he's the one that has the money. Now, that quote is taken out of context because it makes it seem like Thalia said it, and she actually didn't say that. We're going to find out exactly what she said. It also appears she offers to give the boyfriend $3 million if he agrees to back her version of the alleged events. Shame on you, TMZ. After asking him to attest he's seen the alleged video of the incident, the actual text reads, "What do you need? 3 mil?" We've spoken to Thalia's ex, who confirmed the validity of the text messages and told us he interpreted it as an attempted bribe. After receiving the text, he said he blocked Thalia's phone number and also blocked her on social media. Well, that's what he says. Oh boy, here's some more photos. Well, we know who that is. Naomi Campbell and Kevin Spacey. Okay? Now, I don't know any straight man that's going to be okay with another man got his arm around him and leaning on his chest, but whatever. There he is with Donald Trump. Now, I don't know when this picture was taken because this obviously was before Diddy was getting tailored suits, because I don't know who he borrowed this suit from, but this is a terrible fit, okay? And this definitely must have been before Sean John came out because he looks a hot mess. But anyway, so we know he was hanging out with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is also alleged to be on some videos as well, but whatever. Got Kanye West, right? I've already done a video on an alleged victim's account with Kanye West. Ashton Kutcher, who it's already been said Ashton Kutcher is not being investigated, okay? So those of you who thought they were going to come after, no, they're not coming after him. He's not being investigated. Anyway, so it says, what's more, we're told Diddy's lawyers also have a copy of the same text we reviewed between Thali and her then boyfriend. This is why I say I'm wondering if this is Diddy's next plan, right? He's trying to come up with something, right? He's already developing his dream team. So he has an appellate specialist. He has a death penalty, a death row attorney who specializes in that. Plus, he's got his rinky-dink lawyer, Mark Affignalio, need to keep his mouth shut. Okay, so Thalia's lawyer says, and again, this is Gloria Allred. She tells TMZ, it's very common that rich and powerful men and their supporters attempt to discredit, shame, and humiliate accusers who have the courage to come forward. The complaint speaks for itself, and it does. Our client is looking forward to her day in court. See, all this is going to come back to them, and that's why they say you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Notice who has not said a peep. Oprah, Tyler Perry, TD Jakes. Well, he said a little something way back when he was talking about being swallowed up. But anyway, JayZ, we're going to get to them in a minute, because Piers Morgan is claiming that they have broken their silence and has some stuff to say. But I didn't see a cease and desist. I can't find anything. And no content creator out here has shown any receipts confirming that Beyonce and JayZ really did speak through, it would have been through their lawyer, but came forward and told Piers Morgan that he has to remove what Jaguar Wright said. We're going to get to that in just a minute. Anyway, but notice a lot of people are not speaking. J-Lo hasn't said anything. Mary J. Blige hasn't said nothing. Okay. What's her name? Carisha Please. Young Miami. She didn't say anything either. That was clickbait. We thought she was going to talk about Diddy. She didn't say a word. You have the right to remain silent, because anything you say can, and best believe it will be used against you. So Big Joe talking about he don't know this lady from Adam. Well, he better hope he really don't. Because if not, he's going to be sitting in a jail cell right next to Diddy. Anyway, so again, he claims that he never met the woman. And this is the information that TMZ put out. So let's hear from none other than Chronicle Speaks. And then we're going to get into this JayZ business, because I think that Piers Morgan responded the way that he did for a different reason. And I don't think it had nothing to do with JayZ and Beyonce. I don't believe for a second that they spoke forward. I will not believe until I see some receipts. The other thing that has been said is that this lawyer, Busby, with this class action suit, he said, get ready for the firestorm, because you got 120 different victims, including 25 who were minors at the time of their alleged incident. And he said names are coming out. He said you have people who saw what was going on, allowed it to go on, said nothing, didn't intervene, and potentially profited from it. And he basically said he coming after everybody. He said that people will be named. They're going to expose other celebrities. So I guess we will have to wait on that. Give me 1 second. Let me just clear some stuff off of here, because I have a lot of stuff up here. Oh. All right. I'll save that for now. Let me get to Chronicle Speaks, and I'll save. I've got something else to show y'all, but I'll save that for a little bit later. Chronicle Speaks videos are not very long, and I don't even think we're gonna go through the entire video. It's just a portion of it that I want to show. And you guys can go on her channel and watch the rest of it. It's called Diddy Goes Before a 3-Judge Panel in Appeal and talks about the ex-boyfriend. So let me just cue this up as best I can. All right.
Yes, look at you.
So Diddy walked into the courtroom yesterday smiling, greeting his family, hugging his lawyer, almost like he was waiting on some good news. He's got a new judge on the case, he's got new attorneys, and he's got an endless amount of money. One thing Diddy can now add to his list of got a whole lot of is time. Diddy's trial date does not begin until May 5th, so if he is not granted this new appeal, Diddy is missing Halloween, his birthday.
Happy birthday
God.
to me.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. You name it! So it seems like it's going to be a long time before Diddy sees the light of day again. However, yesterday, Diddy had a status conference with a whole bunch of bickering back and forth between both the sides. But most importantly, Judge Aaron Submaranian brought up the fact that there was no bail package brought before him. So Diddy's bail appeal will actually be conducted in appellate court in front of a 3-judge panel. So Diddy has not been denied his third attempt at bail quite yet. Lastly, we're going to talk about Thalia Graves, which is one of Diddy's accusers. She accused him and his bodyguard, Big Joe, of essaying her. Joe denied it, saying he had never seen her before. However, we do have alleged text messages from not only Thalia, but her boyfriend, who claims he saw the tape, 2 very credible people who used to work for Bad Boy, and a whole lot more. But before we get into that, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any news regarding this story.
That's the fact. If y'all not subscribed to Chronicle Speech, y'all crazy. She's got excellent content.
Now let's get back into it. I can guarantee you that when Diddy wore the number 24 on his jersey, he probably didn't know that that number would represent the worst year of his life.
Not guilty.
Now, yesterday during the status conference, the U.S. Attorney Johnson stated that the investigation was ongoing and there could be a superseding indictment. So far, the U.S. government has given Diddy's attorneys 1 terabyte worth of discovery. There were 96 devices that were seized from both his LA and Miami home, as well as on his person at a private airport in Florida. They also confiscated his phone when they arrested him in September in New York, and it's going to take them up to 30 days to extract all of this information. Technology is forever changing, and it does not allow them to quickly extract. Some of his tablets were old, and some of the devices were damaged, so they need forensics to be able to go through and get that information. Now, Diddy's lead attorney, Agnifilo, stated that he wanted a gag order to be put in place because there was concern that the agents had been leaking grand jury information and making prejudicial statements. When it comes to the raids on Diddy's homes, he states that media outlets were already on the scene prior to HSI agents even entering the premises.
Sorry, y'all. I was trying to pause this, having trouble. Anyway, so that's a bad place to stop. Hold on 1 second. This is okay. This is one of the reasons why the prosecution, not the prosecution, the defense is trying to say that the prosecution or leaked information, not the prosecution, but that the feds leaked information and so forth, because they're trying to figure out how the media outlets got there first. They obviously, got wind of that something was up, or knew to be there on that particular day and time. But again, that's not going to necessarily work in Diddy's defense, because that can't necessarily be proven. The other issue is that with the evidence. So you heard what Chronicle Speaks was saying about them having to go through all that electronic evidence. The same thing happened in Ernest Williams' case. So Nesto tries to say that, and his side hand also, Sonia, tries to say, well, if they had that evidence, why didn't they come out with it sooner? It takes time, especially when you're dealing with older devices. It takes time to get all that information out, to get experts to look through it and piece it back together and yada yada. So this is not something that just happens overnight. It takes time. All right, sorry, I got too many windows open.
How CNN obtained the video footage from March 2016 of Cassie Ventura being attacked by Diddy. So Judge Aaron Submaranian said that the gag order would prohibit any further leaking of information to the media. Prosecution really wasn't feeling it, but they was like, okay, we'll deal with it, but will this be reciprocal? Because Agnifilo has been making some baseless statements about the government engaging in a racist prosecution. Attorney Johnson from the U.S. side,
he's been saying a lot of crap, and this is why I said that, you know what? I'm not even going to say Diddy needs another lawyer. You need to keep this man. Keep him on your team. He's great. He says the most wonderful things. Like Diddy got bulk baby oil from Costco when they don't even sell baby oil. Diddy's greatest challenge in jail is the food. That's yeah. Keep him on your team because you always want a good donkey on your team, and there you go.
Said, I'll read a quote. Mr. Ignifilo said, they make this case as a takedown of a successful black man. She said that the statements have been picked up and he should affirm his obligations under Rule 23.1. Nonetheless, Diddy's trial date has been set for May 5th, 2025.
Oh, that's my daddy's birthday. My late daddy's birthday. Y'all want to know what's funny? I keep thinking back to that clip, and the clip has gone viral. I've showed it before. Many people have showed it. Of Diddy on the phone, and then he hangs up the phone, he picks up the phone, he throws the phone, and he's having what appears to be an adult tension where he says, whatever I want, I get. Whatever I want, I have to get. Whatever I want. And I'm laughing to myself because Diddy wants to get out of prison. He would like to be put like on an ankle monitor, just like Nesto, just put me on an ankle monitor, but I got to get up out of here. He wants to stay home and wait for his trial from home. And whatever he wants, he has to get. Well, so far, he wants to get out of jail real bad. And so far, he ain't getting it. So I guess he don't get whatever he wants. Anyway.
Now, Judge Aaron Submaranian wanted to make clear that he did not have an application of bail set before him. Well,
that was another screw up on his lawyer's part. All right, so I'm going to fast forward through some of this because we covered a lot of this. I want to get right to the text messages, all right?
Comments about the boyfriend to try to make him feel bad and end up cutting Thalia off.
I don't know this lady from anywhere.
You've never met her?
Never in my life.
Same day that she found out about the video, she contacted her ex-boyfriend with a picture of Big Joe, and she said, that's the bastard. She says, I contacted blank, which is a name I redacted, and she says, hopefully he has a lawyer. And then her boyfriend says, okay, cool. And yes, that's Big Joe. She says, I know. Then she says, email me a synopsis of the video you've seen. And then she has her email address. Now, TMZ has these very same text messages from Thalia and the man who was her boyfriend at the time. And in these texts, they're saying that she revealed she's planning to sue Diddy because he's the one that has the money. What was not revealed was the context within that text that made her say that. And anytime a publication does not reveal the full story, then you get articles like this. 50 Cent calls out Thalia Graves' accusations against Diddy. Caught this bitch lying. Thalia then asked her ex-boyfriend about the act that the New York state legislation enacted in May of 2022, and he told her that it was the Adult Survivors Act. She says, okay, I think I'm going to file a claim, especially if that damn tape is in rotation. Does Diddy live in New York or in his New Jersey house? Ex-boyfriend says, I have no idea where he lives. She says, guess attorneys have to find out. He says, I'm sure that's not hard to find out. She says, okay. She follows the text with, do you have a good attorney there? He says, no, not in contact with any. She says, you're going to have to be my backbone again and testify about the video that Joe was showing everyone in the office. That is like the worst thing they could do to a woman. Record her incapacitated and being AR'd and showed it to everybody. Who does shit like that? So the ex-boyfriend says, I'm willing to testify if you need me as to what I saw on the video and can talk to your lawyers once you file, but don't want to email anything as I don't want to be the focus of the case. Really don't want that hitting the media with my name attached to it as a witness. Still contacting the ex-boyfriend, and she says, do you know a Joe Hall? Do you think that's Big Joe's last name? He says, no idea, in the middle of some stuff. She says, call me when you can. Then she says the attorney wants to go after Puffy the most because he's the one that has the money. I guess Joe works for MCA Productions or something, so that's secondary. Now, the attorney she had representing her at the time was not Gloria Allred. It was an attorney that likes to chase after money. So this statement from TMZ where they said that she was planning to sue Diddy because he's the one that has the money, that did not come out of her mouth. She said that came from the attorney's mouth, who she's not even using anymore.
Boom. So that's one of the problems that we have with TMZ. And again, shame on TMZ for, spreading misinformation. TMZ is a huge platform. And you have a lot of people out here who just take what they say as gospel. It's very, very dangerous to have a platform that big and then they're out here spreading that kind of information. And so many media outlets have picked up on it to the point where even somebody big like 50 Cent has some nasty things to say.
So she goes on to say, so I guess I'm not on the video they have, but it's the same MO as the other girls. So I guess once you tell the attorney you've seen the video, then other witnesses will come and he will file the case. She means the attorney. Now, a male and a female that were pretty well known that once worked for Bad Boy are having a discussion via text. Now, they're talking about Thalia and her ex-boyfriend. So the woman says that the ex-boyfriend cried at the airport. The man says, oh, he can always call me though. And the woman says, he is so scared. The man says, they didn't name him, did they? The woman says she will have to because he told her about the tape Thanksgiving. The man says, yeah, I remember that day. I remember Joe was apping with Thalia's boyfriend bad. The girl told me her boyfriend wasn't there. Said Diddy and Joe picked her up from her house and told her they needed to talk to her about her boyfriend because his job was at risk in Joe's burgundy truck. But Joe's been doing this stuff for years.
Oh, wait a minute. How they know? Okay. How they know what color truck he got? So they're talking about in his burgundy truck. Okay. She, meaning Thalia, the victim, says that Joe was driving. So he's going to have to, he better hope he has an alibi for that night. He's going to have to prove where he was. And it will be very easy to prove, not for him to prove where he was, but it will be very easy for them to prove where he wasn't if that alibi is not what it's supposed to be. Because all they have to do again is look at phone records. They can look at the cell tower to see exactly. That's what happened with Fonnie Willis. They were able to look at Fonnie's cell phone records and say, well, wait a minute. You were over here at this condo, but then we looked at your boy, and your boy was in the same location around the same. What were y'all doing at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Years. The man goes on to say, I just can't believe Puff would get in a tape like that with him. But Joe, I remember that day we was about to go on tour or was coming in from someplace. It was around the same release of Blank, which is a song I redacted. I remember the girl had on a burgundy or red dress that was like a sweater, and Joe kept effing with her. And the woman says, how do you remember all this? The woman goes on to say, I remember the boys talking about it. I should try to reach out and help this girl. Did you reach back out to the girl? I just sent her a message. He says, I didn't because I also thought me saying something would put my name way out there and I'm not making a dime for the stress. You let me know. He says, I remember because we just released an album and we were touring all over. I was there. And the woman says, but it might help her and help her boyfriend get closure. He will contact you on IG. She says, so it literally happened the way the girl said it did. He said, I never liked Joe after that. He used to sell pornography of him doing this to chicks. The woman said, so pretty much everyone knew that she was R by Puff and Joe. How horrified of her boyfriend and her. He had to still work with them. Did you ever see the tape?
So this is where this is going to become a problem. All these text messages do help corroborate Thalia's story that, this was not fabricated. The boyfriend did tell her that there was a tape, and he also provided her information about the Victims Act, where, you had a certain time frame to file a civil suit, or basically it's like a waiver. You can file, even though the statute of limitations might have been up, you can still file a civil suit according to this New York statute. But the reason why I say this is going to be a problem, because whoever these people are corroborating that they knew about it and they didn't report it. They knew about it and they didn't say anything to anybody, right? You heard about a tape, you saw a tape, you're saying that, this man does this all the time, this is what he does, but you didn't say anything. And this is what Mr. Busby is talking about when he says, I'm going after everybody. I'm not just going after the ones who did it. I'm going after the ones who saw it. I'm going after the ones who heard about it. I'm going after the ones who watched the video. I'm going after the ones who knew about it and didn't say anything or stood by and didn't help.
The guy says, her boyfriend is my friend. I knew it bothered him. I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. It was true what was on the tape. He did that to a lot of women. The woman,
they're talking about Joe. He did that to a lot of women. So this man is saying, nope, wasn't me. Caught me banging in the shower. It wasn't me. All right. Caught you on the kitchen floor. It wasn't me. All right. Caught you on video in Diddy's studio. No, it wasn't me. That ain't my car. They wasn't me. It's going to be a problem. it's going to be a problem. And here this person is, and I'm assuming it's a dude, is saying that I knew about it, but my name is Bennett. I ain't in it. I didn't want to have no parts of this. I didn't want to be involved. So I just kept my mouth shut. And that is how you make a predator, right? Diddy could not do these things unless people kept quiet. That is how a predator evolves. Because Diddy wasn't born a predator. He had a paper route. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that Diddy had a paper route in Westchester? After his father after his father was shot and unalived, Diddy's mom moved them from Harlem to Westchester. Diddy had a paper route. Like that's some real television, like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood type stuff. Okay. Yeah, I said Mr. Rogers. I told you I'm old. Anyway, but he had a paper route. But Diddy displayed business savvy even as a young child. I told you guys that there's an awesome documentary on Hulu called The Secret Life of Diddy. You guys should check it out. So what Diddy did is he had a paper route. However, he recruited some of the boys in the neighborhood, and he was able to pick up some additional routes and basically had the boys in the neighborhood working his routes for him and splitting the money. So basically, he got paid for them to do the work. They got a little piece too. They got a little something, but he took something off the top. All right. So even then as a young kid, he showed business acumen. But this right here, in terms of keeping quiet and knowing what was going on, and now they're saying that this is something that this man did, Joe, because he had an adult film company, that's very easy to verify. They're going to get those tapes. And if the tapes that he was shopping around or selling on the dark web or whatever, all that information can be easily accessed. So when they say they got terabytes, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, your boy, Joe, yeah, you done messed up. You should have never gone on nobody's television set and said nothing. You should have kept your mouth shut.
Said, damn, so everyone seen Thalia, what's her name, get Ard, and her boyfriend had to deal with it. From what I heard, that girl was physically hurt from being tied up in Ard. The man said he was hurt too, and Joe kept effing with him. The man says it's Puff's office, the little room. The woman says, I bet her boyfriend was, that's still friends 28 years later. Did she remember what Puff's lounge looked like? The man says she described it to me, and what she described was his office. And why I remember when they turned the office into a studio, and I think Stevie was working in there. I recorded songs in there with Blank.
They're talking about Stevie J when they say Stevie.
And Blank. I remember very well. Joe was like, I'll eat your and lick your Then said, I take She says,
okay, so here it is. Now, this is someone recalling what he said, but this person could be called as a witness. Joe just said, I do this, I do that, and then I take it. So that sounds like R to me.
Yeah, that office was Puff's personal space. He says, remember when the equipment was in there? She says, what the F was Puff doing? The man says, I don't know. The woman says, yeah, they moved from Studio B, but I don't remember where they took it. The man says, so females say he did that to them. It was in his office. Stevie J was working on Mary. The woman says, so Joe roughed up the women and drugged them so Puff could finish the job. The man says, that's the confusing part. I know Puff was there. The woman says, I would like to help the girl. The man says, as you should. I think Joe picked her up, like off the ground. The woman says, can't believe we survived this bullshit, and they blackballed us. He said, in a choke, I'm glad God is real, love. She said, damn, bro, that girl was under 5 foot and super small. He said, dude is in trouble spiritually. I remember. She said, very much so. She said, can't imagine how traumatizing it was for her. Joe is over 6'5" and probably 450 pounds.
Just to put that into perspective, you guys have seen, many of you who are following the Shirley Strawberry and Ernest Williams story, the Nesto story, right? You guys have seen pictures of Sonia, okay, aka Side Hen. All right. Well, that's about the size of this young lady. I'm trying to see if I have any pictures of Side Hen that I could bring up real quick. But that's about the size of this young lady. So when you see pictures of little itty bitty tiny Sonia, okay, because she's a small little thing, that was about the size of Thalia at the time.
He said, and loud. He sold porn. That tripped me out. She said, definitely, he was a big mouth. He said, yo, I think after that, Puff didn't like Joe at the studio. She said, Puff had all the fame and fortune. What was the purpose behind all this? Was he mad at her boyfriend or something? Because then they both involved. But all this is going to be public soon. Hopefully, all victims will be okay and treated with respect. He called the woman's name and said, dude messed up my life. I'm still struggling to get back, but you are so strong. She said, mine too, bro. Maybe we should start talking publicly and help these victims. He said, let's talk later. Let's build. She says, okay, her boyfriend sent you an IG.
The girl and the bodyguard who they said was Joseph Stewart. Now, he
meant Sherman.
Known as Big Joe. Even, I think, who was that? Yeah, that was Black Rob. Said it in his own video. You know what I'm saying? Don't let me go get the G.I. Joe.
Play yourself, I get the G.I. Joe.
The young lady, she contacted me. It had to be up to 9 months in a year. 9 months. Joe. The young said, don't let me go get the G.I. Joe.
Play yourself, I get the G.I. Joe.
Y'all seen that, right? So, yeah. G.I. Joe, bro's gonna need a lawyer. A good one.
The young lady, she contacted me. It had to be up to 9 months in a year. 9 months to a year almost. She said that there's a tape out there when they were sexually assaulting me. I know it ain't you, Gene.
So I'm just going to narrate this for you real quick. So basically, she went to Gene and was like, listen, there's a tape out there. This is what happened to me. Can you help me? And he says, all right, I'll try. I'll see what I can do. He said he never contacted Joe, but he ran into him. And Joe was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know that girl. The same story he running now. So Gene didn't look into it any further. He went back to him and was like, listen, I did run into him. I spoke to him and he said that, you know, he don't know anything about it. And she was like, all right, well, you know, she thanked him. Thank you, you know, for trying and whatnot, you know, and I appreciate the help. And that was basically the end of that. So, you know.
It appears, and it's oftentimes that the media can make you think something and turn you against someone instead of having you looking at the bigger picture.
And the bigger fish, which is Diddy. So those of you who might be hearing some rumors, hey family, what's up, Jones Poetry? Those of you who might be hearing some rumors about, you know, whatever is going on with this young lady and that, you know, she offered some money in exchange for testimony, it was all taken out of context. That's the issue here. It was taken out of context. It was the lawyer that she had at the time, who's money hungry, known for going after people with money, who said that she no longer has that lawyer. And she did ask her ex-boyfriend to basically say and tell what he saw. And that's all she asked of him. So it's not necessarily what you think it is. So speaking of talking and not talking, I'm going to switch gears here. And I want to talk about this Beyonce and JayZ situation. And this has got to be one of the worst pictures of Beyonce that I have seen in a long doggone time. You know, people have made comments about her bleaching her skin. I don't know what it is that she's doing, but I know at some time or other, she was JayZ's complexion. All right. And now she is looking like Katy Perry. I'm just saying. So this article is by Newsbreak, coming by way of Afro Beats. JayZ and Beyonce finally stand up to claims made by Jaguar. Right. This was their response. All right. Let me pause here for just 1 second, because before I get into this, there's one other thing I want to show you guys, which is really interesting. It's called The Shocking Diddy Verse We Forgot. That's what I want to show you guys. Chronicle Speaks touched upon it very briefly, but I want you guys to hear this. So let me just pop over here for a second and we'll get back to Beyonce. They could wait.
If ever there's been a prophetic song This is it. In 2001, P. Diddy and G-Dep released a song called Let's Get It. Diddy features on the second verse where he opens up by saying this.
I run this city, send the cops, DA the Fed to come get me. Send the cops, DA the Fed to come get me.
And ironically, the number 24 on Diddy's jersey was the year he was arrested. Diddy continues his verse with a not so subtle warning to his peers.
Cats want to leave me for dead, you're coming with me. You're coming with me.
Coming to the end of his verse, Diddy suggests a possible hiding place.
Hide out in Asia.
That's good. The craziest part of this story is Diddy didn't even write his verse. 50 Cent did.
Make this money. Oh, the G-Dep joint. Yeah. You wrote that?
And to top things off, 50 also wrote Diddy's verse on the I Get Money remix, where he has him saying this.
Bo knows, but Diddy did it. Shootouts, coastal beef, shit, Diddy did it.
God damn.
Niggas fit Christmas in jail.
If ever.
All right, so I just thought that was really interesting. You see him wearing the jersey with the number 24, which is very significant. Diddy didn't intend to, but he basically prophesied all that was going to happen, and he low-key told on himself. The same thing that Ali Carter's been saying. If you want to know what's really going on, listen to the lyrics. And so he talked about it, you know, tell the cops, tell the feds to come get me. Well, that's exactly what happened. And it's like in a mocking way, because it's been kind of known on the streets, not just the YouTube streets, that Diddy had law enforcement kind of in his pocket, politicians somewhat in his pocket. I mean, he did get the key to the city by Eric Adams, although that was quickly taken away once all this came, especially once that Cassie video came out. But he talks about, you know, if you want to hide, you want to get away, go to Asia. And then they show a picture of Russell Simmons, because Russell Simmons just settled 3 SA lawsuits, civil lawsuits claiming SA against him. He settled those lawsuits for $3 million. And you know where he's at? In Asia. He's in Bali. He's in Bali right now. You know, he has another lyric that says, Bo knows Diddy did it. Like Diddy did it. And it is just, you know, I've talked about this before on my other channel. It's the Word Podcast, but words are very powerful. Very, very powerful. You know, there is a scripture that says that the power of life and death is in the tongue. I believe that appears in the book of James. But anyway, the point is, words are very powerful. You can build someone up, and with the same tongue, you can tear them down and reduce them to ashes. You have got to be careful what you say. I might have told this story before real quick, but my grandmother, the woman who raised my mom, which was really my mom's aunt, thereby my great aunt, but I knew her as grandma. And it's funny because I just had a dream about her last night. So I don't know if my mom is on, but if she is, I'll tell you about the dream later. But anyway, so my grandmother used to always say, I don't feel well. Hey, grandma, how you doing? I'm not feeling well. But she wasn't saying I'm not feeling well because she wasn't well. She would say that to get out of doing stuff, right? When she didn't want to cook, I'm not feeling well. When she didn't want to clean anything, I'm not feeling well. She didn't want to go to the store, I'm not feeling well. You know, I don't want to get up and do this. Everything was I'm not feeling well. And she said it so often. And the reason why she said it is because in her heart of hearts, she really wanted to be catered to, right? She wanted to be waited on hand and foot. And ultimately, what ended up happening is that she developed early onset dementia and Alzheimer's well before she should have. She began to lose her memory. And exactly what she spoke came true. She said, I don't feel well, I'm not well. And she became unwell well before the time that she should have become unwell. Now, it could have also been, you know, due to the excessive drinking and whatnot, you know how that go. But the point is, she said that almost every day, I don't feel well, I'm not feeling good, I'm not well. And she became unwell. And she ended up in a position where she had to be taken care of, total care, full care, and ended up having to go into a nursing home facility. So words are powerful, very, very powerful. And if you guys, again, are following the Nesto story, in one of those text messages where he's talking to Tashima, Nesto also talks about mentioning something early on that ends up coming true. So just be careful what you say. Definitely be careful what you say. You know, it's especially when someone asks you how you're doing. And, you know, if you're not okay, then say you're not okay. You know, it's all right. But this is different. So Diddy basically prophesied his own downfall. ultimately. All right, so let's get into this JayZ stuff and see what they were talking about. Because as I said, I haven't seen any paperwork to show that a lawyer said anything. But let's see what this article says, because I have not read this article, guys. I'm reading it for the first time. If you're wondering who Jaguar Wright is, wonder no more. She's a musician who worked as a backup singer for JayZ on Unplugged on MTV. Jaguar later went on to release 2 studio albums, and her songs include I Can't Wait, Same, Different Day, and Free. And if you guys don't know, Jaguar Wright can sing her booty off. This woman can sing, okay? She sings better than Beyonce. She's a real singer, and I'm not saying that Beyonce can't sing. I don't know what type of ritualistic whatever Beyonce got into, because what I remember is say my name, say my name. She went from that to, I'm not even gonna do the Dubai runs because I ain't even practiced that, so we ain't gonna get into that, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Her voice went from just okay, kind of like no depth to it, no teeth to it, to this buttery, and that usually does not happen. When you look at a Jennifer Hudson could sing when she started, and she can sing now, right? Not to say that with the training she got didn't help develop her voice, but she already could sing. The same with Christina Aguilera. The same with Kelly Clarkson. I can name so many other people. The same with Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey didn't start out and then end up having this amazing voice. Beyonce's voice started out with, Bugaboo, okay? With her singing with Destiny's Child. Very cutesy, basic type of, you know what I'm saying, to what she does now. That doesn't just happen. So it's really interesting. But anyway, I digress. She was even featured, meaning Jaguar Wright, on songs with JayZ, The Roots, Curse, and Blackalicious. I don't know what Blackalicious is, but anyway. However, since 2020, Jaguar has been making headlines for speaking about her fallouts with various artists. She has discussed allegations against some Hollywood powerhouses, including Diddy, JayZ, and Beyonce, and spoke about the dark side of the music industry. Her latest allegations were made when she recently appeared on Piers Morgan's show Uncensored, where she spoke about Diddy's arrest. For years now, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and JayZ are monsters. She also claimed that JayZ and Beyonce have a lot of victims. Jaguar Wright accused the couple in one of her online videos a few months ago of claiming that they put people on planes while they're unconscious and keep people against their will. She was referring to Aaliyah. She has stated on a number of occasions that Aaliyah was put onto that plane against her will unconsciously. She didn't want to, which those of you who are familiar, Aaliyah did not want to get on the plane, okay? I've heard that she was forced to. I had never heard that she was unconscious. So when they say she was forced to, I don't know in what capacity. Anyway, Jaguar also claimed that Nicki Minaj had the recording of Meek Mill and Diddy having relations at a freak off, and that audio has since been leaked. She also, meaning Jaguar Wright, made accusations that Justin Bieber and Odell Beckham hooked up, and also suggested that Diddy is responsible for the unalivings of Kim Porter, Heavy D, and Andre Harrell. Well, it's really interesting that people close to Diddy they turn up missing or no longer breathing. And we all saw that video of Justin Bieber giving what looked like a BJ to Odell Beckham. So let's just be clear, okay? Because why are you on your knees in front of a dude? I'm just saying. Somebody said, oh, Odell was probably dancing. Okay, so you hump in air, but you got another man down on his knees in front of you, and you need somebody to scream, oh, to, warn you that they filming? Cut it out. All right. She also says that she witnessed R. Kelly recruiting young girls for his escapades. Right. And she said that, so the article says that it seems like Beyonce and JayZ have had enough of her claims. So all this time, they ain't had nothing to say. Because this is not anything new. Jaguar Wright's been saying a lot of stuff about a lot of people for a long time. But because she goes on a bigger platform like Piers Morgan, this is a white man, okay, running his white British show. Now, I told you guys that I didn't see any receipts, and I don't see any receipts in here. This is what it says. Piers Morgan issued an on-air apology to JayZ and Beyonce regarding the interview with Jaguar Wright, who made allegations on the show against the superstar power couple that turned out to be false. How do they know it's false? That turned out to be false? We ain't seen any proof. How do they know that it's false? On Tuesday, he revealed on his show that JayZ and Beyonce's lawyers contacted him and stated that the claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and therefore asked with a legal request to cut them from the original interview. Where are the receipts? That's what I want to know. I wanted to reach out to Chronicle Speaks to see if she can find what I couldn't. See if she can find these documents that they're claiming. Because I don't believe that JayZ and Beyonce, that their lawyers reached out to Piers Myers and told him anything. Is it just me? I'm just saying. Because where is the proof? I see you, Shivani. What's going on? She said the Fonnie Willis cell towers pinpointing her in area was debunked because towers can't pinpoint specificity in terms of distances. Okay, but I thought they could though. Or is that just in the TV? Maybe that's just on television. But thank you for clarifying. Once the words are out of one's mouth, you can't retrieve it. That's the reason we cannot repeat what we don't have clarity on. That is very, very true. Thank you, Tiger Lily, for giving a shout out to my mom. But my thing is, where is the proof? He said he received an email, I think. But where is it? We don't see a screenshot of it. All he did was say that Beyonce and JayZ came forward. Nobody has shown a text message, an email, anything. I think that Jaguar Wright was too much for them. I don't think Piers Morgan did his homework. I think he needed to do some research before he brought this lady on his show. He had no idea what he was in for. The man was sweating. But you know what? I can tell you or I can just show you. So let me go ahead and just show you. Let me go ahead and just show you. So I have an edited video. All right.
A whistleblower. You knew Sean Diddy Combs for a long time. You attended a number of his infamous parties. And in 2022, you made headlines after comments where you called him a sex trafficker. And in response, you were called crazy and jealous. Do you feel vindicated by the events of the last few weeks?
No, not at all. Because he's just the beginning. Until him and his cohorts are all held to account publicly and legally, the victims, they're not safe.
What was going on?
I'm going to tell you right now that me, as a woman who has been in the industry for over 30 years, I've been performing live since I was 13. My first handler was McKinley Horton. I come to find out 25 years later that a scar that was on his face with a very elaborate story he gave me was put there by a woman who he assaulted. To live through these things and hear your elders in the business, people like Patti LaBelle say, just avoid him, honey. And being taught to be just avoid him, honey. It's not good enough. Not when you live through these things, you're still suffering the PTSD created by all of this, and you're talking to a victim that's 20 years younger than you, and she's telling you the exact same thing that happened to you. You want to know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and JayZ are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
JayZ has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
Right, there's been a lot of rumour mill about what has happened in the rap world. A lot of allegations that the misogyny in the lyrics clearly was based on a general misogyny towards women away from the music. And that clearly seems to have been borne out by these charges against Diddy, which if he's found guilty of all this, he's never coming out of prison. How dangerous do you think?
Thank God.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil.
Now, why did she take a shot at Claudia Jordan? I don't know. But I put a poll up. If you guys are on Bad Girls Talk, which is where you should be, the poll is there. So the question is, what was Jaguar Wright's motive for doing this interview? Clout chasing, exposing the industry, or money? All right. So I want to get your opinion. All right. I want to get your opinion. Jaguar Wright has been called many names. Okay. She's been called crazy. She's a little dramatic. You know, she's been deemed to be an incredible source. And some people are just tired of hearing her mouth. It's really interesting. I remember when I first learned about her, and I'm like, who is this lady? I didn't know she was a singer. I didn't know who she was. I'm like, how does she know so much? Why does she know everybody's business? Like, damn, she was a fly on everybody's doggone wall during every conversation. And then little by little, some things started coming out that she happened to mention. But it's also been said that she wasn't at Diddy's parties. So I don't know. Have you seen Jaguar Wright in any of the photos of Diddy's parties? I don't know. I haven't, but she has been in the industry, and I'm sure she's probably seen a whole lot. So far, half of you said clout chasing, and the other half said exposing the industry. All right, but only 2 of y'all voted. So it's 79 of y'all in here. So please make sure you vote, and also make sure you hit the like button for me. All right, let's keep going. We're almost done.
Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange. He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue to rape it for all of its precious jewels. We have too many lost. The list of lost is ridiculous. And everyone knows Diddy was selected for this job. He's the Judas.
Do you think that if he's cornered in the way that he's been now, that he may start revealing things about other people?
He has no choice. His ego and his drug addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not going to talk is crazy. The simple fact that he's not saying more now only means that the people who have been protecting him all along, who put him in position to be such a horror to the Black community, still find value in him. He's got everybody on tape. They all know it.
For those who were never at these freak-off parties, what were they like?
See, this is the thing. Everything that I'm about to say to you is not my firsthand knowledge. It is my firsthand witness account experience. I was a sex worker. I was a dominatrix before I got my record deal. That's how I know how the dark world and the sex world and the entertainment world run hand in hand. That's why the movie Blink Twice is so important. Salute to Zoe Kravitz.
Have any of you guys seen that movie Blink Twice? I have not watched it yet. I do plan to watch it tomorrow. And so I'll be live at some point tomorrow in the afternoon to do some entertainment news. And then tomorrow night, we'll probably do some Nesto text messages, see what's happening with him. Oh, and if you guys are not aware, Nesto's motion hearing, I believe, is November 7th. And so, yeah, so your girl will be in the building. Okay, I already have my Rule 22, and I will make sure that I'm there early. Okay, I will not disappoint you guys this time. And this hearing is not going to be like the last one where, you know, you sneezed and it was over. Okay, this is the motion. This is the response to the motion to suppress the vehicle evidence, or the vehicle as evidence and everything that was in it. So I will definitely be covering that. Strawberry Tiger said Denzel went to a Diddy party and was shocked at what he witnessed. That was his first and his last. Okay, Denzel is one of the celebrities that is often mentioned by people who are like, yeah, you know, so, you know, certain people was like, don't stay after a certain time. Make sure you leave before the devil comes. Yeah, he went to his Diddy party, saw some stuff, and that was his last time. Okay, he was like, nope, I'm done. Did you guys know that Denzel Washington at one point was seeking to be a pastor? He felt called to be a pastor or a preacher, but he just didn't feel like he was ready or not willing to give up whatever it would have been necessary to give up for him to, you know, be in the office of a pastor. And so he ended up getting into acting instead. So it's really interesting. Yeah, he left quick, fast, and in a hurry. He was disgusted.
The sex workers that I have worked with throughout the years and continue to work with even to this day have worn hidden cameras. I have my own tapes. I've seen what they do. The ritualistic behaviors, the drugging.
Now, two things. Tiptoe Through the Pretty Tulips, that's a beautiful name, says just Jennifer Hudson screams, a voice can progress. Oh, a voice can definitely progress. I just don't feel that a voice can, and this is my own professional opinion because I study voice. A voice can improve, but it's not going to improve that much. That's why it's better for you to start doing vocal coaching at a very young age, so you can develop that range before your vocal cords set. So, for example, I used to sing soprano when I was in high school, right? I had my son. And after a very difficult labor, I actually couldn't sing at all for almost a year. I had no voice. Then my voice came back, but I can sing alto now. I can't really sing soprano. Like, I've lost my range. I might be able to get it back somewhat, but I can work with the best vocal coaches, and the amount that my voice will progress in terms of skill is only going to go but so far. So that's what I'm talking about. You don't go from mediocre to, you know what I'm saying? You don't go from Aaliyah to, and no offense, I love me some Aaliyah, you know, but you don't go from like an Aaliyah or a Rihanna to a Whitney Houston. That's not going to happen. You're not going to get that much improvement. Now, you can do all types of things with technology, but you're not going to turn Rihanna into Whitney Houston. You're not going to turn Aaliyah into Mariah Carey. That's what I'm saying. Tiger Lily says Nesto's new chick is dragging a YouTuber. His new chick. Tiger Lily, who's his new chick? I could come up with a couple of names, but I'm not sure which one you're talking about. I don't know why that's funny to me. I think Jag is not all there, and thus it's hard to know what's true and what's maybe assumed. I agree with Flapjack. I think Jaguar is a flapjack. Okay. It's like hit or miss with this lady. But Tiger Lily, you got to expand on that one. I need another message from you. Anyway, let's finish this.
Putting girls into suitcases. Dumping them in alleyways. It's horrifying. And it's all done under the protection of this is going to be paid off. There's another NDA. This is going to be, it's terrible.
Now, some of what Jaguar is saying was backed up by Allie Carter. Okay. Some of what, when she's talking about people being paid off and what they did with, some of the girls. And she said something prior to, and I completely lost my train of thought. But I can tell you that some of what she's talking about in terms of, the drugging of all that, that's been corroborated by a number of witnesses. So that's why I said I agree with Flapjack. Sometimes it's her delivery, especially here. This seems like she is acting more than anything. I think the first time she's really genuine is when she's talking about women being in suitcases, because you can see the worry and the look on her face.
It seems to have been something that a lot of people knew about, but people were simply too scared to talk about.
Everyone knows. And every person that's sitting there trying to act surprised knows very well. The whole point of this, like Cat Williams said when he sat with Shay earlier this year, the whole point of this is for them in a coordinated effort to pretend like none of it is real for the public's perception. But everyone knows what's going on, and it's been going on for years. It's been going on before Diddy. See, people keep looking at him like he's the Sputnik that came out of nowhere. This is someone who was designed to be what he is.
Now, I have heard that in another documentary, all right, that, they kind of like Clive Davis groomed him. I've also heard that, because a lot of people have said, oh, well, once Diddy kind of got fired and Andre Harrell was like, look, this ain't working out. Diddy, he basically started Bad Boy. But I've also heard, and then this is just rumor, because I don't have a way to prove it, but I've heard from another source that Bad Boy Entertainment was basically given to him. He didn't necessarily start that from the ground up. I mean, that would have taken a lot of money, and he was not necessarily making that kind of money at the time. That like it was kind of gifted to him. Like, okay, listen, you do your own thing over here, because apparently he was working with somebody on a video. And was it Kanye's video? Don't even get me just adding names, but he was working on a video, and in that video was going to be some images of Jesus or some references to Jesus. And after the video was shot, and it took about $15,000 to make the video, Andre Harrell and the bigger ups were like, we can't have this in here. You need to take it out. So he told the director, like, oh yeah, I just need you to make one change. We need you to take out, any references to Jesus. And dude is like, we already shot the video. He's like, I don't care, take it out. Well, he didn't take it out. And Diddy was pissed. And it was a number of other decisions that Diddy was making. Diddy had a concert and didn't have appropriate security, and there was not a riot, but I guess the crowd was so anxious to run inside and grab their seat, because it basically was like first come, first serve, and 9 people got trampled. So there was a series of things going on, and they were like, look, you're a liability. We can't have this. You go and kind of, do your own thing. But anyway, and Tony B said Jaguar can be crazy accurate. She can. And I agree again with Flapjack. I think her delivery, sometimes she sounds like she's acting when she's performing. But she's always been that way though. But the Jaguar that I've seen on YouTube is very entertaining. But I'm seeing another version that doesn't seem as authentic as it could have been here.
We got to stop making ditties. And if we're going to do that, then we got to go back. We got to go back to even further, the mentors of these people. Because Diddy was taught how to do what he does systematically. And Clyde Davis has been his greatest teacher.
Look, Clyde Davis is not here to respond to that, nor is JayZ. But a lot of people, famous people in the music industry, have been notable, like I say, by their silence so far. It's also been notable that since the Me Too campaign began in 2017, the music industry has largely avoided the same scrutiny that other industries have had. Why do you think that is?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Since Me Too began in 2017, the music industry has largely avoided the same kind of scrutiny that other industries have had. Why do you think that is?
Well, because the Me Too movement was a ruse. It was a setup. It was a scam. I'm saying that now, publicly. Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back.
Now, I had not heard that, but what's interesting about what Jaguar is saying is, where is the Me Too movement? And that's a really good freaking question. Where is the Me Too movement? Because they haven't said anything at all since Cassie came out with her lawsuit. And then you had Lil Rod come out with his lawsuit, and Joy Dickerson, and the names go on and on. You have not heard a peep out of that crew. Wonder why? Just saying.
There's nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter. They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does JayZ sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there. If the Me Too movement were real, why aren't they speaking now? They've also been very quiet in this time of the diddler's downfall.
Jaguar,
guess they're on vacation.
If this goes to court, Jaguar, do you think that the world is going to be shocked by what comes out?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know why they are. It's been happening in front of everyone's faces for decades. For decades.
How many victims?
What's the difference between me and Judy Garland? Social media.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, Pierce.
Listen, like I said, JayZ and Beyonce are not here, unfortunately, to respond to that.
I know. I'm just being honest with you.
No, you're perfectly entitled to your views, obviously. Kim Porter,
Yes.
a new book claims that Diddy may have been involved in her early death. What do you think of that?
I think people should really look into that more. I am friends with Al B. Shore. I love him. I love his children. I knew Kim. We used to all hang out together at the Kit Kat Club back in the mid-90s when Diddy was first starting his reign. I watched that whole thing happen. And everything that Albert has been through, every attempt on his life that has been ignored by the authorities, it all leads back to Diddy. And everyone knows it. The wiretapping of the phones, putting air tag on children during visits. These are normal practices that these people do.
Jaguar, I've got to leave it there. I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you very much.
Listen, dude was over here about to lose his soul. I mean, you could hear the production company in the background talking to him, you know, kind of telling him to, like, bro, you need to go ahead and end it. Objectively, I can see why the Carters addressed the allegations. But here's the thing, June's Poetry. Did they address the allegations, or did Pierce Myers just say that? Right? Where's the proof that JayZ and Beyonce said anything? Because here's the deal. If they wanted, because I heard from one content creator that, and it might have been made sense, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. But either him or Kempire, somebody said that, in their opinion, one of the reasons why they spoke out now and haven't spoken out before, because this woman was just on YouTube, you know, wasn't a big deal. And even though Pierce Myers is on YouTube, he had a television show, and they decided to take it to YouTube, and it's a big platform. And so ultimately, I guess they were trying to shut it down. But in doing so, now everyone's looking, oh, who's Jaguar, right? Everyone is Googling and schmoogling this woman. They're all over YouTube typing in her name. You know, her name is fast becoming one of the top searches after this interview. And so it had the total opposite effect. If their plan was to try to silence her or to, you know, shut her down so that she, you know, doesn't let more information out of the bag, well, it already happened. And I think that's why I don't think this was JayZ and Beyonce, because Beyonce, number one, has never, ever responded. If you guys were on the live that I did about a week ago with, it was called Dear Weak Loser with, why am I drawing a blank? Nicki Minaj. Some fan made a comment under one of her posts about her husband and her family. Like, you know, of course you would take your child's birthday and make it about you, or make it about your man, or something like that. Nicki Minaj went off. But that is what I'm going to say what an inexperienced artist does. Nicki Minaj is talented, extremely talented. So when I say inexperienced, I'm not referring to her talent. I'm referring to her business acumen. I'm referring to, you know, understanding this industry. You know, one of my mods used to say something like, you know, the queen doesn't talk to peasants, right? They don't talk to the peasants. They don't interact with you know, the low folk, the country folk. So the fact that she went in so hard over a comment, have you ever seen Beyonce respond? Now, there's been some nasty comments about Beyonce that, you know, she's on a silver horse, and that's proof that she worships the devil because that's the pale horse of destruction in the Bible. And a lot of stuff is being said about her. Who knows what's true? Have you ever seen that woman chase after what she believes to be a lie? You never chase a lie, right? That's what we say. You never chase a lie. Have you ever seen her lash out? She's on a very high level. When you're not on that level yet, you may feel the need to defend yourself. But once you get to the level like a Beyonce, you're not going after the little people to defend yourself. I could come on my platform and say all kind of defamatory things about Beyonce. Beyonce ain't coming after me. The same with Tasha K, with that whole situation. Okay. This girl did not have to go after Tasha K like that. She didn't have to. She did it to prove a point, but she didn't have to. She did it to be petty. So my thing is, why would they come out now? I don't believe that they said anything. I think Pierce Myers was feeling heat from the higher ups because one of the executive producers of his show is a billionaire, and JayZ and Beyonce roll in some high circles. You don't know what money he has tied up where. And I think they did that to ensure that Beyonce and JayZ had no reason to actually come after them legally. I think it's a lie. I think they just said it. Low key, P. Morgan got what he deserves as he's not people of color friendly. Yeah, I didn't like this interview at all. Granted, I understand it's Jaguar, right? Vlad, which you guys don't see it, but Vlad comes on after him and is like, well, you know, I would never have her on my show. I've never had her on my show. Jaguar Wright actually said, she stated, not in this interview, but she stated that Vlad did want her on the show, but he vehemently denies it. I would never have her on my show, yada, yada, yada. And then he proceeds to talk about the Diddy parties, but then he says, well, I've never been to a Diddy party because I was never invited. Why do you think DJ Vlad was never invited to a Diddy party? Because Diddy's not racist. He got brother love, got love for everybody. He loved them in all shapes, sizes, colors, and genders. And ages, apparently. But he was never invited. He was not on the list. And then he had the nerve to say something about, well, Diddy might be able to get off if he gives up some names. Diddy is not going to, Diddy's not going to be getting the plea deal. There was an article that I read too. Hold on a second. That talked about this plea situation. Let me see if I can find it. Things always come up when I'm not looking for it, but there was an article talking about Diddy and some kind of plea deal, and something about he wasn't. Let me just type in the keyword plea and see if it comes up. Let me just see. I hate when that happens, when I can't find what I'm looking for. All right, I will eventually find it. I can't find it right now. I'm not going to hold you guys up just for that. But if I do, not if, I will find it. I have a lot of emails. Things come across my feed. I save them so that they can be available for when I need them. Now, this is about his bail, but I could have sworn I saw something about a plea. But anyway, so apparently his lawyers think that they can get it together by May 5th. I think that's very ambitious. And Diddy might want a speedy trial, but a speedy trial is not always to your benefit. So why Jaguar declined to be interviewed by Ray J? I don't know. I have no idea. But the better question is, why did Pierce Morgan want to interview Jaguar Wright? Tiger Lily says, I have to say, I agree with Tasha K being sued, not because she discussed Cardi, but because the content was based on lies by Tasha's own admission in court. Credit asked her to take it down, but Tasha won it back. Oh no, I wasn't saying that she didn't deserve to be sued. I was saying that Cardi B didn't have to, right? Because it's not like she needed the money. She did it to prove a point, right? You could even say, you know, she maybe did it to be petty, but Tasha K could have just taken it down, and it would not have been an issue. Tasha K decided that she gonna do whatever she want to do because it's her show. Well, you can do whatever you want to do, but there's consequences to it. Okay, there's levels to this thing. So she faced the consequences of not being a professional. You know? And the information that she put up about Cardi B was not, it was some nasty stuff. It was something about her having an STD. That's not cool. You know, it's one thing if you making jokes and yada yada yada, but stuff like that is not cool. And she evidently, you know, made it up. Now, Tasha K's platform has blown up and she has grown from it. You see the allegedly on the bottom, that came from her, right? That came from her. She even says in her intro, even my name is allegedly, right? Because she doesn't want to be sued again. You have to be, you know, they say drink responsibly. All right. Well, you need to content create responsibly and just be careful. I think people get these channels and they feel it's my channel and, you know, I can do and say whatever I want, but you really can't because it's not really your channel. You're on somebody's platform that has guidelines because they have funders, they have advertisers and things like that. So you can't really do whatever you want on here. Well, I take that back. Technically you can, but there are also consequences. And so you can do that, but you can also pay the price. Tony B is asking me, would I interview Diddy's former assistant, Capricorn Clark? I would. Now, the question is, am I going to get the truth? Or am I going to get a rehearsed response? So I'm not sure. But yeah, why not? Tasha K has improved. I agree. She's matured. Now, if only Storm, well, that's the we might need some time for that one. Vlad was out of pocket. One of the Williams brothers, I think, was Marlon. I'm not a fan of Vlad, to be honest with you. Somebody made I think you might have made a comment, Flapjack, about P. Morgan not being people of color friendly. And sometimes I feel that way about Vlad. He is not a source that I go to at all. That, you know, I don't like his reporting journalism, whatever you want to call it. Check it out. The Carter's lawyers spoke about this already. Vlad, don't get me started. I know. Monica Jones. Monica, if you have an article or if you have anything like real receipts to show that lawyer actually said something, can you email it to me at iamwisdomsdaughter@gmail.com? Because what I keep pulling up are articles like this one saying that the lawyer spoke. But that's not a receipt. That's a claim. And it's not backed up by anything. This is just rehashing what Piers Morgan said on his show. Piers Morgan said, I'm going to apologize to JayZ and Beyonce. I said it during the interview that you guys weren't here to defend yourselves. And, you know, the lawyers did reach out to me. And so we have removed that portion of the interview. But what proof do we have that the lawyers reached out? Anybody can claim anything, right? If you ask Diddy, Diddy is saying that, you know, Cassie made claims. She was claiming that I did these things to her, but they were baseless until that video came out. Okay. And so all these other victims came out. So my question is, I want to see the document. I want to see the email or a screenshot of whatever. Apparently there was a cease and desist that was placed on Piers Morgan to, you know, take out to edit the video. He says normally they don't edit videos like that. I haven't been able to find it. So Monica, if you got some receipts or you know where I can find them, I need you to point me in the right direction. I'm going to put my email up here and I would like you to email me whatever you have. Okay. I I do this part-time. So if you guys wonder why I'm not live every night or every day, because I'm not a full-time content creator. I have a full-time job that is very demanding. It took me over 2 hours to get home today from work. And then I had to deal with my dogs, Allie and Gigi, who were very upset that I was late coming home because they were either worried or they just didn't want to be in the kennel anymore, even though they were outside and they had fresh air and they were good, but they wanted to do some running around, and their kennel is big, but it's not like being open in the backyard. So I had responsibilities. I agree. JayZ and Beyonce are protected, even if they are innocent of all the accusations, at least for now. Yeah. But again, if they are guilty, then there are tapes. It's been said that they are on some of those tapes. And we're going to find out what's what, Or they may pay some people off. Who knows? Because they already got their big fish. If you're wondering if there's a bigger fish, they got them. I believe Jaguar when she says that Diddy was groomed for this position. Let him be out there. Let him set this up so we can benefit from it. And when stuff hits the fan, they can take him down. Love my homeboy, but when we get around to Chris Brown, I have to step aside and let him take his licks again. Diddy's lived in Westchester County, New York after mom left Harlem. Diddy's dad was shot. He was a driver, a drug lord, Frank, who got 5 years prison sentence as he gave up other criminals. Yeah, I've heard that as well. I've heard 2 stories. I've heard the story that he opened up his mouth when he shouldn't have, and he was taken out. I also heard another story that his mom, and I don't know which one to believe, but either one sounds plausible, that the mama found out he was cheating and went to the boyfriend of the woman he was cheating on her with and said, look here, my husband is messing around with your woman. And she was expecting him to rough him up a little bit, but instead he got taken out, Now, if she didn't want that to be tied back to her, it would not have been that big of a deal to spread the rumor that he was, taken out because he gave some people up. Why would you snitch? If you're really a street dude, you don't snitch. I'm not a street person. I snitch. I'm just saying. All these so-called bad boys out here, Garth Brooks online too. Tiger Lily. Listen, Diddy is not as hard as he likes to pretend he is. Okay. I had the strangest dream about Diddy. And I'm not going to tell you how to dream tonight because it will take too long. I mean, the dream seemed to go on forever and ever. And then it ended with my grandmother, which was odd. But it seemed like I was starting to wake up and I would go back to sleep and I would go right back into the same dream. It was just weird. It was like something out of a Hollywood movie. It was weird. I do understand what some of it was about because I've been having dreams like that for years. About some major threat, and I've got to be the superhero with the big gun that goes to take it out. Except this time I was really scared, and I started packing bags and was like, "Nope, it's time to go. it's time to go run and hide." But anyway, but what came out of the dream was that Diddy acts like a bad boy, but he came from a decent family. His father was a street dude, ran the streets, and, he was into drugs. Diddy wasn't. Diddy was, 2 or 3 when his father died? Diddy is not hard. He tries to act like he is. He got a little bit of power, and it went to his head, and he's very talented. I told you guys that when he was, just barely a teenager, all right, he had a paper route, and he got a few more routes and had kids in the neighborhood working for him. Working his paper route, and he split the money with them. So basically, he was getting paid to just sit around on his behind. And honestly, business owners, because there's a difference between being self-employed and having a business. Now, I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, but there's a difference. If your income is based on you doing the work, even if it's your company and you don't have a boss, you are the boss. But basically, if you don't get up and do whatever it is that has to be done in order for you to get a check, you are self-employed. Because if you get sick and you're not working or producing or whatever it is that you're doing, no money's coming in. You're self-employed. You have a company, but you don't have a business. A business is when you can sleep at night and you still making money, because that business, you have people working for you, right? So as long as those people are coming in and doing what it is they need to do, and it's a successful business, you should be making a profit. But that's the difference between having a business and being self-employed. And a lot of people don't realize that. Oh, I got a business. What happens if you get into a car accident and, you're in a body cast for about 3 months? Right? Yeah, you're self-employed. That just means you work for yourself. But you got a business. Diddy was a businessman. He built multiple companies. He got into, the liquor with Ciroc. He got into, there was a whole thing that I wanted to show you guys. I almost forgot. Hold on a second. Doggone it. All right, let me get it up. Anyway, so while I'm pulling this up, and it's the last thing I'm going to show you, and then, because it was interesting, and then we're going to wrap up. But that's the difference. He got into alcohol with Ciroc, right? He got into the clothing industry with Sean John. He's not only rapping, and think about it, Diddy is not really a rapper. Diddy actually sucks. I mean, he had 50 Cent writing his lyrics for him. He's not really a rapper. I mean, he has some hit songs. He made some hits now, but is he really a rapper? He can't even dance. Diddy can't really dance, honestly. But then he became this amazing producer. So basically, you can look like me, you can drink like me, you can listen to my music that's rocking in every club and party like me. You can almost be like me. He was really, really good at that. And unfortunately, he got away with it. Right? When you ask a predator, why do they continue doing whatever they're doing? They asked Jeffrey Dahmer why he kept doing what he was doing. You know what he told him? Because he got away with it. Simple as that. Because he kept getting away with it. They made it so easy because he kept getting away with it. So, doggone it. Let me see if I can find one I wanted to show you guys. Because I had it up there and I was like, I'm going to wait. I should have just showed it to you then. Let me see. All right, you know what? Let me see if I can find it in my playlist. And then I'll show you that and we'll wrap up. Let's see. Let's go to watch later. See if it's there. I feel like it's this video by Pop Cult, but I'm not sure. There were also rumors that Leonardo DiCaprio left the country. There's also rumors that Oprah left the country because someone saw her getting off of a private plane. I don't know about Oprah, but I know at least the Leonardo DiCaprio stuff has been debunked. Okay. He has not left the country. There's a lot of stuff, coming out now about different things. There was a whole video that I watched talking about, video of J-Lo at wild party footage of Diddy, J-Lo, and JayZ goes viral. Well, they're talking about it and they never showed the video one time. And I hate that. Let's see if it's over here. I feel like somebody's watching me, and I get no privacy. Oh, I kinda feel like somebody's watching me. Well, I hope you're watching me on Bad Girls Talk. Damn it, man. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me go to my history because I had it up here and I took it down. So let me go to my history. I can find it that way. Diddy's lawyer reveals it's the bodyguard. We did that already. Oh, okay. So it was this one. All right. So apparently I wanted to show you guys this. This video is titled, hold on a second. It's titled Wild Party Footage of Diddy, J-Lo and JayZ goes viral, but I didn't see a lot of information on here. But I wanted to show you guys this for some reason. I'm pretty sure this is the one that I wanted to show you guys. So I had it up here, so why not? Let's do it. Let me just cue it back up. Honestly, this is just wild footage of Diddy. And hold on a second. Okay, I got it. Why does this keep... Give me 1 second, guys. Every time I click on this freaking video, it rolls it back. Okay, here we go. I keep hitting the wrong button. This is just some crazy Diddy footage, honestly. Let me just go ahead and share with you guys, and we're going to wrap up. And then Diddy is giving me a headache. So, hold on 1 second. I want to read y'all comments because I see some really good stuff coming through. Some of this footage we're going to see I've seen before, but I didn't see the whole thing. And I was like, Diddy, what you up to? Diddy is not telling on anyone. He will make it past Will he make it past 2025 is the question. Well, Tiptoe, a lot of people are saying that he is going to squeal. And I don't know if at what point you joined the live, but I had played this video that this guy put together of Diddy kind of prophesying some things. And there is a song where Diddy's like, you know, you think you taking me down, but you coming down with me type of situation. So I'm not sure. Oh, Tiger Lily says part-time creator with full-time talent. I appreciate you. WD, our Renaissance creator. I do try, y'all. I do. There wasn't a cease and desist. There was a call. Oh, Miss C60 Virgo. Okay. So Mrs. C60 is saying that the lawyer called I can't even say the station because they're on YouTube. Who do you call, right? But, you know, apparently, you know, it is being alleged that JayZ and Beyonce's lawyer contacted him and said whatever. But I've also read that there was a cease and desist. So now it just really confirms for me personally, in my opinion, my humble opinion, that it was a lie. Yeah, that was my underlying meaning without being repetitive. No, you're fine. It's all good. All right, let's watch this crazy. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but there's a few minutes of this that I do want to watch because it's very telling.
Like hold on. Both of y'all. Let's keep both of y'all. Ain't no going on. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no going on at all.
Talk about balling and just this and that. I'm thinking watch, rolly, bracelet.
Yeah, it ain't no watch.
No. This is how we smoke.
Check your man out. Check your man out.
Yeah, this is like loose thing.
So is Diddy high? Or what? Because he's in his underwear, okay? And he almost pulled his whole underwear down by accident. And that flick of the wrist was very sus. I'm just saying. And then whatever this in this dude's hand, he probably shouldn't be showing on this video, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm letting
the whole crew smokes, you know?
Everybody
check
smokes.
This is what I got for him. Huh?
Let's zip it. Let me zip in on it about.
He got a platinum crack pipe.
The platinum. What? Ice face. PD. Guaranteed to get charged. Blicky.
He has a platinum crack pipe. Are you for real? And my finger keeps hitting my microphone. So if you guys are hearing a weird sound, I'm sorry. A platinum, look like some type of jewel or diamond covered crack pipe. He said, guaranteed to get you what? Say it again, bro. I'm going to go ahead and put the caption on. Say it again. What you say?
Let me zip in on it about. The platinum. What? Ice face. PD. Guaranteed to get charged. Blicky. AKA pipe. Now, let me zoom in on the Blicky. What y'all niggas know about the remote control joint? Niggas, I wasn't here to put it down last night. We were putting it down tonight for BIG. We may just, I don't know, we may just spend, I don't even know what we're going to do tonight. Tell us some shit. I don't even love it.
Now, you explain to me, because there's definitely some men up in here. What the hell is this? Somebody please help me. Is it me or is Blue Ivy looking uncomfortable lately? I suspect she's old enough to hear things now and question it all. She gives me Willow Smith vibes for reals. Yes, ma'ams, and yes, ma'ams. Tiger Lily, yes, ma'ams. Excuse me, I saw a picture of her recently. And she didn't look too happy. She was definitely giving me Zillow. I said Zillow. She was giving me Willow Smith vibes for real, for real. She looked sad, to be honest with you, and confused. I wish I could find, let me see if I can find that picture of her. It was, hold on. Blue Ivy, I'll just put recently. Is it this picture right here? You know what's crazy? She is looking very much like her grandmama in this picture. I'm gonna come back to the video, but let me just pop over here real quick. Now, I can't even tell you how old this young lady is at this point. She done grown up way too fast, okay? I don't know if she's 15, 16. If anybody, you know, let me just look it up. Doggone it. How old is Blue Ivy? How old is your child? Oh, no, 12. What? Wait a minute. No, she can't be 12. Wait a minute. She was born in 2012. What? No, wait a minute. She was born in 2014, 10, and carried a 1, the 2, 12. Y'all, did she look 12 years old in this picture? I gotta make this picture bigger. Does she look 12 years old to y'all in this picture? Baby is 12 years old. Looking like her grandmama. Why? Wait a minute. Let me make this bigger. I gotta make this bigger. I don't care what the outfit she got on. I'm looking at her face. Why does she have it on this makeup at 12 years old? Did she look 12 to you? Because I'm thinking she about 17. Wow. Tiger Lily, why you do this to me? I'm blaming it on you. Let's hear about the dreams on your next tape. Father was also a U.S. veteran. It said that they taught dad, it said they thought dad was reporting to the FBI. I lived and worked in Westchester in higher education. Okay, Shivani Dumas got some TT. Diddy is to rap with Shorty Boy is the gospel. Maybe he wants to testify to use the equivalent of a safe word to let his alleged victims know it's about to go down. Y'all a mess. I thought I heard a call, but not sure who it was to. Weird boat trip. I don't know what they was doing over I have to go back and watch the Piers Morgan interview because maybe he said that he received a phone call. I thought it was an email, but it's okay. And Tiger Lily says she baby looking like she 20 years old. This is what happens when you grow up in Hollywood. Her mama was so thirsty to get her, in her show and whatnot. And I think that may have gone down just a little too soon. I think this is the picture that I saw recently, but the picture that I remember seeing, she looked very sad. So maybe this is not the picture. And it certainly is not this one. I'm still trying to figure out what in the hell we looking at upon yonder. But Blue Ivy is 12 years old and should not be wearing a sleeveless top. Okay. She's 12. I'm stuck. I'm stuck on she's 12. All right, let me get off it. Let me just, because I have a hard time letting things go. Let me just let it go. Just let it go. Let's get back to the now. June's poetry. Tony B, what's going on here? This man is walking around with his shirt ripped. Look like somebody done clawed at his shirt. And all I see is men. Where are the women?
And I just want to let everybody know my man got an afro.
Diddy's legendary white parties in the Hamptons were the pinnacle of celebrity culture, running from 1998 to 2009. These exclusive events were known for their strict all-white dress code and star-studded guest list, featuring everyone from movie stars to politicians.
So just so you guys know, this video is being narrated by AI. Not talking about my live, but this video that we're looking at. Okay, so some of it is not going to line up. Some names may be misspelled, mispronounced, sorry, because it is AI. That's Andre Harrell. Okay, and he's another one who allegedly was unalived. So
promised a chance to rub shoulders with A-list celebs. But recently, viral footage from one of these parties has Reserface taking us back to a time when these events were the hottest ticket in town.
You have 4 eyes. I
remember this. Somebody was trying to say that this has something to do with Diddy. Well, when I get my dental surgery, this is going to be me.
2 fingers. I have 3 fingers. Is this gonna last forever?
Justin, stop it. Many high profiles.
That's what happens when you get, I don't know if that's going to happen if they give me laughing gas, but, if they give me anything stronger or, some general anesthesia, then I might come out looking and acting like that. Who knows?
Celebs can be seen enjoying the festivities, unaware of what would come years later. Yep, what was once viewed as a lavish, carefree event is now being reevaluated as Diddy faces serious charges. The recent accusations have cast a shadow over these parties, with many people now understanding what actually used to happen after the cameras were turned off. Well, Diddy's white parties were the place to be, with people like Jen after the cameras were to have cast a shadow over these parties.
Don't Diddy look like the devil? I mean, I've always said that Diddy looked like a little elf. Look at his ears. His ears are all pointy and whatnot. Look at his face. I mean, I don't know. He just looked like he doing something he ain't supposed to be doing. I'm just saying.
Used to happen after the cameras were turned off. Well, Diddy's white parties were the place to be, with people like Jennifer Lopez, JayZ, and Beyonce showing up. Jennifer was a regular attendee, especially when she was dating Diddy. They were the power couple, and her being there just added to the buzz. Meanwhile, JayZ and Beyonce were also frequent guests, bringing even more star power to the scene. Diddy himself called these parties a celebration of life, wealth, and success, with champagne flowing and celebs mingling under the stars at his East Hampton pad.
Do you guys think
Diddy really
that do y'all think that JayZ and Beyonce left early, or do y'all think they stayed for the freak offs? And I'm not laughing because the freak offs is something to laugh about. I'm just laughing because all of this is laughable. He didn't get it from her mama. Oh, she didn't get it from her mama. TMZ video, Alex Shapiro. Okay, I'll definitely check that out. Tiger Lily is cutting up. She said Diddy titties. I can't. Wait. Okay, hold on. Let me see where we are. We at 301. I'm gonna get back to where we was. But she said, you know what? I can't with you, Tiger Lily. I can't even cue it up to the right. She said Diddy titties. See, this is why I can't have Tiger Lily in here, because I promise you, you're going to be running to the bathroom. As a male WD, I would feel weird with both eyes open at all times on that boat. I wouldn't be on the boat. Justin was on that. Yeah, she is 12 years old and growing up too fast, not allowed to be a child. Yeah, that's what's going on, Good Trouble? She said Gloria Aura is a high-profile attorney. Most definitely. She gonna get it. The courtroom artists have been making his eyebrows look like horns. Check it out next time. But they kind of do look like horns though. So I'm not even mad at it. I put horns on them a few times. They really kind of do look like horns. Let me see if I can catch it. No, not that one. Diddy really thought he was the man. I mean, he really, really thought he was something.
Now understanding what
I mean, look, they do. Look at his ears. Whose ears are pointy like that? You know what? I need to look at some pictures of, y'all, I got Diddy's high school picture. I'm going to show you this on here, and then I'm going to post it later. Because if y'all wonder where I get my petty from, well, my mom is petty too. She sent this to me, so I'm blaming it on her. As soon as this comes up to my email, I will get it on the screen. I got a picture of Diddy in high school. I wanted to know if he always had these pointy ears, because I'm like, if he is worshiping the devil, like some people say, is he transforming? But he is giving elf vibes over here. Okay, them ears is just as pointy as I don't know what. Okay, that's not normal. That's not. Anyway, let's just keep going. All right, I said I was going to take us back to where we was. We was like we was like around 3 minutes, so we was right about here. Yeah, we was right here.
Hampton pad. Diddy really knew how to throw a party, which helped him cement his status as a mogul. These gatherings weren't just about music, they blended Hollywood, fashion, and business into one luxurious bash. Getting an invite was a sign you'd made it, but these weren't just casual hangouts. They were all about power, influence, and wealth. Diddy created an experience everyone wanted to be part of, and for over a decade, his white parties were a huge part of celebrity culture. Recently, an old clip from one of Diddy's white parties went viral, bringing back all the glam of those events. In the video, Diddy, decked out in white, stands on a balcony with a glass of champagne, telling the crowd it's time for the kids to leave because the real fun is about to start. His laid-back vibe hints that the party is about to get a lot more adult.
I get it.
We got another special one. Hold on. Ain't nothing like a mama's love.
Now, what's funny is that, Diddy and JayZ are trying to refute Jaguar's claims, but they all up in the Kool-Aid looking like they know what the flavor is. I'm just saying. They was in there. So my question is, I'm going to put it in the poll. I'm going to put up a new poll. So the last poll was, what was Jaguar Wright's motive for doing the interview? Clout chasing or exposing the industry? And it was half and half. So I'm in the poll. And the new poll is, Do you think so? Did JayZ and Beyonce stay for the free? Right? Did they leave early? Or did they stay for the free call? I want to know, did JayZ and Beyonce leave early or did they stay for the freak off? All right, so 2 options. Left early or they stayed for the freak off. That's what I want to know. What do y'all think? I need your honest opinion. All right. So did JayZ and Beyonce leave early or stay for the freak off? And y'all let me know what y'all think.
Mama Combs in the building, y'all.
You understand? This man has been the motivation for this.
Y'all seen him again, right? There's JayZ.
The footage,
and it looked like was that Will Smith's son that I saw? Did y'all see Will Smith's son? Because it looked like it was him. Let me
The footage also includes Jennifer and JayZ having a blast with Diddy. Jennifer, who used to date him, looks right at home, partying at the peak of her career. JayZ, a close friend of Diddy, is also enjoying himself. It's a reminder of how close these stars were back in the early 2000s, bonding at these lavish events. But watching this now, it's hard to ignore the darker vibe that's come to light. What used to be a fun glimpse into celebrity life now feels a bit unsettling, especially with the serious allegations against Diddy. When he tells the kids to leave, it hits differently now, given what we know about the legal troubles he's facing.
It sure does. Now I found what I was looking for, y'all. Look at this. Look at this. Hold on. I'm going to remove this banner so that you guys can focus. This is his yearbook picture. So you know how like in the yearbook, especially with seniors, they do that funny thing, like the person most likely to, and then, you know, the person most likely to, you know, get married and have kids, the person most likely to, you know, build a spaceship and go to the moon, whatever. So for Diddy, this is what they put. Because at first I thought that maybe somebody added this. But I said if they did, they've got some great editing. Maybe they did. I don't know. But it says Sean Combs, most likely to get caught with 784 dildos and gallons of lube. Okay? And the caption, hold on. The caption, this came from, I think this came from Facebook, but whatever. The caption on this thing said, damn, they already knew about Diddy. All right. That's what the caption says. Even back then, they knew about Diddy. Most likely to get caught with 784 dildos. 784, not 85, 784 dildos. And gallons of lube. I'm having a drink tonight, old people-ish. I know that's right. Can you make me one, Tiger Lily? I want one. Not Tevin Sharpie Sharp. What he doing? Baptizing TDJs? I don't know what he was doing, mama. You know they was up in that piece. JC is El Capitan. All right, so far, y'all saying that they stayed for the free call. Why they do Diddy like this? This is hilarious, though. I'm definitely going to post this because I was cracking up. I was definitely cracking up when I saw this. All right, let me get this off the screen and let's see how much more of this we're gonna watch because this is pretty funny.
The video of Diddy, Jennifer, and JayZ at the white party might have seemed innocent back then, but with Diddy now facing some shocking charges, those moments take on a
Don't he look like an elf? He really looked like one of Santa's little helpers, just dressed in all black, like the Omen.
much darker tone. These allegations have rocked the entertainment world and cast a shadow over.
Now wait, you know what's weird? Look at his ears, and his ears look really pointy over here.
Darker
hollering at somebody.
Tone.
Now his ears look normal over here. How is that possible? And with them eyebrows, he still look a little evilish and devilish. Look at Mr. Another One, DJ Khaled's ears, and look at Diddy's ears. You know, they're a little pointed, but they're mostly rounded. That one is a little more pointed. But why he looking like a straight, you know what? Look, though. All right, I'm going to leave his ears alone because I could go all day.
Have rocked the entertainment world and cast a shadow over Diddy's reputation. As more details come out, the image of Diddy's white parties has shifted from fabulous celebrations to something that might have had a more dark side. The charges hint at a troubling aspect of Diddy's empire, and people are starting to rethink what
did them ears go. Y'all see the
really went.
Okay, I'm just saying. It seemed like the more powerful he got and the more money he got, the more pointed them ears got. I'm just saying. And this is why he ends up with horns going over his eyebrows, because look at his eyebrows. His eyebrows protrude from his face. It's a little weird. I've never seen that before.
Down at these exclusive events. There are even reports of wild after parties where things allegedly took a dark turn, making Diddy's comment about the kids leaving feel like a setup for something more twisted.
Now, what you doing there, Reverend Al? You ain't supposed to be at the freak off. Y'all, Reverend Al was at the freak off. Lord have mercy.
These serious accusations, especially the claims of misconduct and human, have changed how we view these parties. What used to be all about glitz and glam is now clouded by questions about who.
Now, I know y'all seen that, right? What's going on with this man's ears?
Glitz and glam is now.
I'm obsessed with his ears. Look at his face. Y'all can't tell me that he don't look like a little demon. He looked like a little demon. But anyway, I'm going to let it go.
Clouded by questions about who knew what, and whether any of the high-profile guests were aware of the darker side of things. Now, Jennifer Lopez and JayZ weren't just occasional guests at Diddy's white parties. They were very important players. Jennifer, who dated Diddy during the height of these parties, was often seen with him. Her presence at these events solidified her spot in Diddy's inner circle and helped elevate the status of the gatherings. JayZ, along with Beyonce, was also a regular at these parties. His long friendship with Diddy made him a staple, and they often party together with the biggest names in music and Hollywood. Their connection goes way back, and they've shared many high-profile moments together, both in business and personal life. But
well, I will say this again: JayZ and Beyonce better hope that there ain't a tape with them on it, or that they got enough money to pay somebody off to keep from releasing it. I'm just saying. And if the prosecution has it, yeah, New York City is that's a different type of situation. Okay, he is going to get the R. Kelly treatment. Okay, the Southern District of New York don't play; they cannot be bought. I'm gonna show y'all one last thing, and then we're gonna roll up out of here because it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I know some of y'all got some things y'all need to do tomorrow. So this was a video of Diddy warning Justin Bieber not to talk about the things that he did with quote unquote Big Brother Puff. Tell me what y'all think. I've seen some very strange videos with Justin Bieber. I've seen Justin Bieber get promised a house and a car and to be so excited. And the crazy thing is Justin Bieber brought a friend. I don't know who that friend was. Maybe the friend was Usher. I don't know what friend he brought with him to Diddy's house for the 48 hours, but I know that Bieber was never the same. I've also seen videos of Justin Bieber feeling very nervous when Diddy said, well, what's going on? Because you don't call me like you used to. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't hanging out like we used to hang out. Grown 27-year-old man asking a 14-year-old, you ain't calling me to hang out. But that's not weird. Well, if that's not weird, tell me if this is.
You got me a Lamborghini. It's,
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house. And he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
You got me a Lamborghini. It's,
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about...
Y'all see Diddy's face? He looked like he was ready to slap the Justin off of Bieber, okay? I'm just saying. Y'all see his face? He looks real disgusted. Okay? Or he was about to slap the Bieber off of Justin. You could say it both ways. This video looks like it was taken not too long after he stayed with, I don't know. I can't even tell you. But anyway, look at his face.
When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house. And he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
All right, that was page 6, who often spills that tea. So some very, very interesting stuff, okay? I'm not going to be surprised if there are sympathizers. Yes, that does not help his case. It sure doesn't. I bet Jaguar was in the kitchen spooning out drinks at the punch bowl. Justin makes you keep waiting for Benson and Stabler to show up. You are too funny. Katy Perry was all over that boy in the photo. Disgusting. So that's it, y'all. That's pretty much all I have. And somebody said, tell us about the dream, the next video. Y'all, I have some very vivid dreams. My dreams sometimes are straight out of some weird B movie. Like I have B movie type dreams. I don't know why. I don't know what I went to sleep watching, but yeah, it was odd. But I do believe that things come to you in your dreams, and I think you should definitely pay attention when you have certain dreams. So I think I know, even though this one was weird, I think I kind of know, what it was about. So that Puff Bieber is as weird as the R. Kelly Aaliyah identical outfits interview on BET. To this day, I have a hard time looking at that, That's another situation where a lot of things were ignored. I have a whole file of rare videos of Aaliyah when she was in Paris, when she was in London, she was in Japan, traveling all over. So I think I'm going to have to pull that stuff out and just kind of curate it into like a whole video and talk about it. So, yeah, so I've got some stuff I'm planning for that. Did you see the picture of Diddy in bed with Justin? I did. And that one is definitely doctored or photoshopped. So we don't say doctored anymore. We say photoshopped, right? It's definitely photoshopped. Because there's a rumor about a screenshot from a video of Diddy in bed with someone who looks like they're underage, or they can't tell if they're, of age. And it's someone bigger than Diddy. And that was mentioned by this lawyer. Y'all know her name. I can't call her name right now. I can't think of her name. She's the pretty light-skinned lawyer. I can't think of her name. But anyway, but you guys know who it is because she's represented a number of these victims. She claimed that she was going to do like a catch and kill and try to, get a copy of the video, and it all sounded suspect. Shivani says, thanks. Yes, I've had those dreams. I've had those dreams since my teens. Yeah, I don't know. I always have weird dreams where I have to save everybody. I think it shouldn't be a surprise to me that I ended up in the career field that I work in. Because I've always remember having dreams from my college days on of being in a situation. And it always seems like I end up leading everybody to like a cave. Like we have to escape through like tunnels and stuff. And that's what the dream was kind of like about last night. There was some threat. And it's weird because, don't laugh at me, but I mean, I've had dreams where the threat was something like a Godzilla, or last night it was like a King Kong type of situation. It was weird. And I've actually seen the actual threat. And last night I was pissed off because I had cut out all the lights in the house, and I'm like telling everybody just be quiet and it'll pass. And then of course I'm doing my inspections and someone has flipped on the lights, and I'm like, you can see these lights for miles. Why would you do that? You know, kind of situation. And then I'm like, all right, it's not safe here. We're going to pack up. And I remember I had a backpack and I had a duffel bag. And I'm like, this is too heavy. I'm not going to be able to carry this that far. I have to take some stuff out. And I remember saying, well, if I can only take one book, I got to take my Bible. And then I'm like, well, which Bible am I going to take? And I'm like, well, let me find a small one because I have a lot of Bibles, a lot of different translations. I have several Hebrew Bibles and yada. Anyway, but I was having trouble paring down. And I've had a dream like that before. And the last time I had a dream like that, it came true. And that dream manifested in the form of Hurricane Sandy. So I'll tell you that story another time because it's too late for that. But yes, I dreamed about Hurricane Sandy and the nor'easter Irene that followed, because a lot of people forget about Irene. And I dreamt about it about a month before it happened. And I actually saw it. I didn't understand what the dream was at the time until I was in it. But what happened in the dream was a warning, because I was there for Superstorm Sandy and I had a decision to make. Am I going to stay and shelter in place, or am I going to go? And I truly believe that had I not had that dream, I would have chosen to shelter in place, and it may not have ended well for me. So yes, it's really interesting, but I'll tell you that story later. Cause there have been many occasions where I've had dreams about things that have actually come true. Sometimes I know that the dream is going to come true. I just don't know when. And then there's times when I don't even know totally what the dream means. I was traveling by myself to a country that some people may feel is not safe for a female to travel by herself in. And I thought that the dream was about anxiety, but the dream was more than that. So it's really interesting. Tiger Lily says the elders came to warn you. Yeah. It's so we'll do this tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll share with you some of the dreams that I've had. But the dream about Superstorm Sandy was very interesting because I had two dreams. The first dream represented Superstorm Sandy. The second dream represented Irene. And those dreams, I could say the dreams saved my life, but definitely those dreams definitely saved me from what would have been some hardship, because Superstorm Sandy was no joke for New York City. Black Hollywood can be weird. Actress Carol Speed wrote a book about Black Hollywood in the 70s. Okay. I got to look that up. I'm going to look that up. Definitely. So tomorrow we'll go live, and I did get a bug in my ear letting me know that there are some new text messages. So phone calls from prison hasn't been dropping a lot of Nesto stuff. I noticed that Bougie dropped a video visit that she obtained, and someone else has obtained some text messages. So not sure what's happening over there, but I may have to fill out my own FOIA and just start getting my own stuff and sifting through that and seeing what makes sense to talk about. But apparently Nesto's pen pal boo thing had some more to say to Nesto, and had some things to say about content creators, because she probably saw that I was talking about her because I did a whole live about her. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, y'all, Hope you guys enjoyed the live tonight. Hope it was informative. Make sure you like the video. And I have streamed this on both channels. So go over to the main channel and like the video, and make sure you like the video over here as well. So like I said, this channel is monetized now. And so if you do want to get a membership over on this channel, because my memberships are still suspended on I Am Wisdom's Daughter, and you should not be charged for those memberships. I think YouTube stopped everything. But you can get a membership on over here if you would like. And Tony B said it's not a bad idea. All right, well, I appreciate it. So I will. I was very late getting started because I was editing video, but I will let you guys know early enough, at least an hour before I go live tomorrow, so that you guys can get ready for that. And we'll talk. We'll do some conversations from the couch, because I'll probably be on my couch tomorrow. So we'll do some conversations from the couch. Right? So guys, I appreciate you so much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you go ahead and like this particular video and share your comments down below. If you have a request about a topic or a story that you want me to cover, the best way to get that information to me is to email me at iamwisdomsdaughter@gmail.com. All right, you guys, I've enjoyed you. And on that note, Wisdom's Daughter signing off.
I was thinking about you, baby.